Testing, testing. Okay. Gonna get started here soon. All right, is everybody ready? Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you all for coming here tonight. We have a large crowd. It's great to see you all. So welcome to the city of Dania Beach. This is Dania Beach City Commission regular meeting, Tuesday, May 9th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Clerk, could we please have a roll call?
Yes, Mayor Ryan,
Here?
Vice Mayor Llewellyn,
Here.
Commissioner Davis,
Hold on one second. Go ahead.
Here.
Commissioner James,
Here.
Commissioner Salvino,
Here.
City Attorney Bootsas,
Here.
City Manager Garcia.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Clerk. If we all could please bow our heads for a moment of silence. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Senator Pizzo's not here, right? All right, I'll recognize Mayor Fisher. Okay. Well, tonight before we get started in our presentation and special event approvals, I would like to recognize a very important person in the room and persons, but the Mayor of Broward County, Lamar Fisher. Could you please stand up? All right. And I'm not sure if Senator Pizzo is here. Senator Pizzo in the crowd? No, maybe he's running a little late. But we'd all like to take a picture with Mayor Fisher after you please make some remarks.
Oh, thank you so much, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Vice Mayor. I'm so excited to be in Dania Beach. The blessings is that I get to see a lot of you monthly at the Port Everglades Association, so I get to spend time with each and every one of you. And I want to take a personal privilege, Mayor. At my last meeting I did attend, you had provided a history of Dania Beach. And I tell you, being fourth generation of Broward County, and obviously your family being here forever as well, it was great to see how much the Ryan family has done throughout Dania Beach, but more importantly, where you came from and how it was really was an interesting, I don't know if you've shared that with the city here or not, but you should do that sometime and let everybody know exactly from the beginning until now. So blessings to you and your family. I'm here on behalf of Broward County. My goal this year as mayor is to communicate and collaborate in one community. That's my 3 C's plan, and to go to each and every commission meeting throughout the 31 cities in Broward County, let them know that we are here to serve you. Maybe in the past it might have been a little bit different. I sat in your seat as a commissioner and as mayor of Pompano Beach, and so I kind of understand back then when I was serving that there might have been a little bit of disconnect between Broward County and the cities. That's no more. My door is always open, and we are here to serve you through surtax dollars, whatever it takes, the projects to make your projects bigger and better. In Broward County, we want to help you in any way we can. So that's my message tonight, is just to please reach out and to call my office. I have an open door policy, always have since I've been at Pompano Beach. I have incredible staff. Suzanne Bailey's here with me tonight. And I know you have a long agenda, but just want to know it's such a great pleasure to serve with each and every one of you as colleagues in Broward County. And we are one community. Even though we have 31 cities, there really is no street limit signs, you know, it says, okay, you're leaving Dania Beach to Fort Lauderdale. Really, we are one. So let's treat it as one. Let's work together, collaboratory, and make things bigger and better for the best. Of course, it's already the best in the world at Dania Beach anyway, but if we can help in any way to make it a little bit better, we're here to serve you. Thank you so much. You want to get a picture?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Fisher. I understand this is your 20th city that you visited so far this year.
20 of 31. I like even numbers, so they made Dania Beach number 20.
All right. We're number 1 in your hearts, though, all right?
100%,
All right.
always.
Yeah, if we could please get a picture with the mayor.
Wonderful, thank you. And Mayor, as you make your way up, as you well know, that I get to serve with your esteemed uncle.
Yes.
And he is actually my rock on the board, so anything we need to kind of sort out, Commissioner Ryan's always there for us, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Fisher. Oh, yeah. No, how we did that, the interlocal agreement? Oh, yes, by the way, Mayor Fisher, you still out there? Mayor Fisher, come back. By the way, we have an interlocal agreement coming up on the county commission. It's going to be on your agenda, on your next agenda, and it's interlocal agreement between us and Hollywood and the county for the annexation of land over on Dania Beach.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'm there for you.
All right. Thank you. All right, now we'll move into presentation special event approvals. For item 3.1, we have recognition of Junice Bo Brunn, Rising Star, C.W. Thomas Park, the winner of the 2023 Earth Day Art Competition. This is sponsored by Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Davis?
I don't believe, is the artist here yet? I know that they were on the way, not here yet.
Nope,
So if we
okay.
can circle back.
Okay, we'll move up to item 3.2, the Education Advisory Board to give awards to the Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year, Parent of the Year, and Kid of Character from Collins Elementary, Dania Elementary, and Olson Middle School. This is a Parks and Recreation item.
Good morning, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. Eric Brown, Parks and Recreation Director. This is our second annual award ceremony for our awesome schools in the city of Dania Beach, and we're going to bring up the Education Advisory Board that would actually present these wonderful gifts to our great leaders and parents and students.
Good evening, distinguished members of the City Commission, Mayor Ryan, Commissioners Davis, James Llewellyn, and Salvino, City Manager Garcia. Esteemed educators, honorable guests, and fellow citizens, I'm Mary Jane Guerra, and I proudly serve as the chair of the Dania Beach Education Advisory Board. On behalf of my fellow members, we would like to thank the City Commission for allowing this time to celebrate a group of unsung heroes, the dedicated and inspiring teachers, staff members, parents, and children who tonight will receive the titles of Teacher of the Year, Staff Person of the Year, Parent of the Year, and Kid of Character from our schools, Collins Elementary, Dania Elementary, and Olson Middle School. The awards each honoree will receive tonight have been generously donated by the city and by members of the Dania Beach Chamber of Commerce, like Dairy Bell, Dania Improv, Dave & Buster's, Firehouse Subs, PDQ, Rhodesia Grill, 2J's, and Ulta. And now, the honorees for each school, please come forward as you are announced.
All right, we're going to start with Collins Elementary, the Teacher of the Year, Jaslyn Lewis. Teacher of the Year, Ms. Lewis teaches 5th grade and serves as an outstanding school ambassador. For Collins Elementary's Staff Person of the Year, Joyce Hunter. Okay, she's not here, but she has been a teacher's assistant for over 30 years, spreading joy on a daily basis. Parent of the Year is Lizette Vicario. Ms. Vicario serves as a school advisory forum chair and always attends school-wide events. And now we're gonna move, oh, sorry. Would anyone like to take pictures?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I guess I have.
Oh. Thank you so much.
You want the
When it
commission to
was-
stand behind them? We can stand like up here behind them? Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Commissioner. Yeah, come on.
All right. Can you get a little bit, yeah, so this. You want to go in the picture? Okay, all eyes on me. Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to move forward with Daniel Elementary. Teacher of the Year, Miss Jamie Edwards. Miss Edwards is a school advisory committee chairperson and after-school tutor and sponsors the debate team. Parent of the Year, Amanda Mizell. Ms. Mizell has been a volunteer, teacher assistant, substitute, and is currently serving as fifth grade teacher. And staff person of the year, Miss Tiffany Sweet. She is the information manager technician. She also acts as a liaison between the school and families. Okay, one second.
Yep, wait, one more picture. Let the commission get up here. Come on. Come on, guys. These are teachers of the year now.
And parents and
And
students.
parents and students and staff.
Wait, take another one already. Dr. Jackson.
Principal Jackson, why aren't you in this photo?
I knew he looked familiar.
I talked the whole photo.
One more school.
All right, now we have Olson Middle School. Teacher of the Year, Danella Reddick. Congratulations. Miss Reddick has been an admired teacher since 1980. She's been a reading and math teacher and also mentors new teachers. Staff Person of the Year, Miss Slabowski. She leads the literacy department and is a literacy coach. She always greets children and family members each morning with a smile. And Parent of the Year, Mr. Robert O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill donates not only food and refreshments and supplies, but lots of encouragement and is always eager to serve the school.
All right. Go ahead, Commissioner James.
Hold on.
And we now present the distinction of Kid of Character. This title is awarded to those students who have shown traits of leadership and kindness, and they have been selected by their respective schools. These amazing children are shaping the future of our city and of our country. And now, our Kids of Character, please come forward as you are announced.
All right, from Collins Elementary, DeAndre Wright.
Great.
DeAndre was selected for his positive attitude towards school staff and peers. He is a member of the morning announcements crew. He's a great student and always completes tasks with a smile. Good job. Oh, should we?
Oh, you doing one for each school?
I guess one for each school we're doing.
All right, all eyes on me. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, Dania Elementary, we have Mr. Caleb LaRoff. Caleb is Caleb is a fifth grader who has attended Dania Elementary since pre-kindergarten. He is a member of the Safety Patrol and always exhibits caring and friendly demeanor, as well as leadership skills.
Proud mom moment.
Looks just like he looks like her. Here you go. Put us on
Sorry.
TikTok, Mom.
Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, Olson Middle School, Micah Ritchie. Micah has already
Proud Papa, that's right. That's right.
Micah has already completed 6 high school classes while in middle school, maintaining a perfect 4.0 grade point average.
I love it. Congratulations. Yeah. How did they leave me with all that over there?
I don't know. They just did.
This is just, they did the electric slide.
okay. All right, thank you, everybody. Commissioner James, like to say something?
Yes. I would just like to congratulate all of the staff, the teachers, the parents. Miss Reddick. Miss Reddick has been at Olson since before I was at Olson. And it is just so great. Miss Reddick, Miss Hunter, who's not here, she was my summer camp counselor over there at Frost Park. And now she's my son's summer camp counselor over there at Frost Park. This is just such a tight-knit community. What you guys do is they're thankless jobs, and you don't get paid enough. And so I just want to really thank you all for for helping be a safe haven for our children and putting your lives at risk to try and teach and mold our children. And to all of the younger participants, and Micah, and I love your personality. He is going to be a leader one day, and you're just so cute, and just keep leading. You guys make us so proud to be elected officials and representing you here on this dais. So I just wanted to send my most heartfelt thank you, thank you, thank you, and congratulations.
Commissioner Davis?
Well, I reiterate what Commissioner James said, but as a former teacher, I can tell you, and as a current teacher, kids, can we agree that teachers in the community have the absolute best energy in the world? You guys have the best, absolute best energy, and I thank you. So many of you have come to the beach cleanups for Earth Day. You support us at every single turn, every time that we ask for your presence, you come, and we try to do the same. So thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you sacrifice every day. We love and appreciate you. Thank you.
No, no.
Oh, you have one more? Come.
No, that's for the artist.
Okay, okay, yeah. We'll move that up in a second. Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
And just to jump on the bandwagon here, I also want to congratulate the parents for doing such an awesome job. So these kids need your support every day, and you clearly are giving it to them. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to all of the wonderful children, the teachers, and the administrative staff that's done such a great job with everybody. Thank you.
All right, guys, finish the school year off strong, and have a safe and happy summer. So now we'll move up to our item 3.1, which is recognition of Junice Bo Brun, Rising Star at C.W. Thomas Park, winner of the 2023 Earth Day Art Competition. This is sponsored by Commissioner Davis.
Ask them just to hold on until after her presentation, if we can just hold.
Whose
Okay.
presentation?
We're here to celebrate, right? We're going to stay and celebrate this wonderful young lady, right? Yes. Look at this beautiful blue dress. We are celebrators, we are educators, and what an amazing, amazing, amazing job you did. If I don't pronounce your name right, you correct me, okay? Is it Junice? Junice Bo Brun. I got Junice Bo Brun. I was an English teacher, so it's very important to pronounce your name exactly the way your mother wanted it to be pronounced. And I want to say how proud I am. Well, this is our second year hosting our Earth Day Art Contest, and it is a rigorous contest. We go to all the different camps. We have Lighthouse for students. We have Dania Elementary. We have Olson Middle, and you came out the top of the top, the best artist of them all. So let's give it up. Your artwork is so well thought out, and I want to know if you are willing to just say a bit about what inspired you to create this wonderful art for the contest. Do you want to say a couple words? Right there in front of that mic right there. And I want you all to really look at this artwork and pay attention to this young lady.
So I got my inspiration from my older brother, who is an artist and also is a veterinarian. I got my, the branches on the tree represent us, who should also help clean up the earth. The pollution is what is killing the earth, and how we should stop and take a moment to clean it up.
Fantastic. Let's give a big, big, big round of applause. We could not be prouder of you. This is why we started this art contest, so that we could see the artistic abilities in our kids from early. I want you to continue creating, continue with your imagination, and we want to take a picture with you. Everybody, please just give another warm round of applause for this amazing young lady. Yeah, we're going to come down.
Yeah. Okay, the fun doesn't stop. We have many talented, many wonderful, distinguished guests in here, and I'd like to recognize another distinguished guest we have, a dignitary, our state senator, Jason Pizzo. As he's walking up, I'd just like to say that Senator Pizzo was very welcoming to the commission and the staff when we went up to Tallahassee to visit. He took time out of his busy schedule during the session to hear what we needed from him as a representative, and it's an honor to have him in our chambers and in our city tonight. So, Mr. Pizzo, if you could say something. Thank you.
Thank you. I have absolutely no artistic ability whatsoever. But congratulations, and that's excellent to see. Mayor, just about a week ago, I read a letter that you wrote to the entire legislature, and I don't know if you thought that anyone read it, but I read it on the floor as it related to unsafe structures and historic structures. Happy to tell you that bill died. It's one of the many bills up in Tallahassee that they were attempting to continue to preempt your ability, and good to see you again, and local town mothers and fathers' ability to be able to govern. Also, the short-term rental bill died on the last day as well, realizing limitations of state agencies' ability to control that issue as well from DBPR. But just here, we didn't get the opportunity to do this before session because we had a number of special sessions, none of which lowered your property insurance rates at all, unfortunately. And unfortunately, as you guys see, and pardon me for my back because we serve all of you, but we spent a lot of an inordinate amount of unnecessary time on stuff that really doesn't help on kitchen table issues, and I think we're starting to turn the corner where we're going to work in a nonpartisan fashion to get back to those very critically important issues. Also, to your city manager, thank you for being immediately responsive during the flooding situation. I just picked up the phone just to see if everybody was okay, and 7 hours later with the Department of Emergency Management Director, we were coordinating responses, and Jeff Odoms was also very responsive too. I don't know if he's here, but we're glad to be able to help. So I'm here to answer any questions, of course, make myself available. They say it's a part-time legislature, but it's just not true. It's the worst joke in the entire world. It's 80, 100-hour weeks, and if everybody takes out your cell phones, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. You got it? Ready? 305. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. 305-505-8478. 305-505-8478. If I can't handle your issue, I assure you I know who can. That's my cell phone.
We got you on speed dial.
Yep. Yes, we do. It is. Nobody's texted me yet? It's Pizzo, P-I-Z-Z-O. It's Pizzo like Lizzo. (305-505-8478). And if you're the first caller, who's 95? Me. Hello. Tomorrow? Hi, Tanya. There you go. She wins. But happy to answer any questions. And folks, honestly, I know there's 22 million people in this state. There are 412 cities and 67 counties. But writing letters and engaging with your legislators really does work. The mayor's letter to us is proof positive. It likely helped kill that bill that would have come back here and had the state preempt you guys from being able to do a number of things as it relates to the future and the destiny of your own community. So happy to take any questions, and thank you.
Sure. Commissioner Davis?
No questions, just more of a comment. I just want to thank you, Senator Pizzo, for when we go to Tallahassee, I always say there's nothing like face-to-face interaction to help build relationships with our cities and with our state legislatures. And so I thank you, thank your staff for being there for us and just being so welcoming and listening to our initiatives and what we want to move forward for this city. It really means a lot when you have somebody who really not only listens but helps to push our initiatives forward. So thank you for all you do, and thank your assistant for, I know, those 1 o'clock in the morning calls that you give her. So thank you so much for all you do.
And if we survive the veto pen, we've got both projects for Dania Beach funded full amount for both fire and for stormwater as well. So,
All right.
Right.
Happy to hear that.
thank you.
Thank you, Senator. You
Thank you.
look rather well for being in a long session, and I know it wasn't easy, but continue to do what you do, representing many residents that you represent, and you're always welcome here in Dania
Thank you.
Beach.
Thank you very
Yes,
much,
sir.
everybody. Thank you.
right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Picture. We got to get a picture. Come on. Just stay there. Yeah, okay. Come on, guys.
There you go.
Just pose.
He'll be right above you. But I'll need something like this. No, I'm kidding.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Hey, we don't get center every day now.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, before he leaves, the senator.
Sure.
I want everybody to know that not everybody works with the same work ethic and the same passion. And I've been working with this gentleman for several years, going back to my former city. And we're very fortunate to have someone like Senator Jason Pizzo for the good times and for the challenging times as well. One of the first calls that came in when we were dealing with that storm was his call. And later I spoke to him, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and he was still in the office with the staff. So thank you for going above and beyond for the city. Thank you.
Sir. Take care, Senator. All right. Now we're getting into business. So we're going to start with item 3.3, the height density reduction presentation. This is a community development item. No, they took this off.
It's still on there. That's why I'm saying.
What? I thought Dean took it off.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission.
Ralph, can we up the volume of the podium, please?
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. Okay.
Right, I'm so excited that I have a large crowd to hear my presentation.
Oh, so when I get to him,
Let me get the clicker out here. There we go. All right, wonderful, thank you. Eleanor Norina, Community Development Director for the City of Dania Beach. And tonight we're going to be talking about height and density, specifically in the Regional Activity Center. All right, so I'll give a brief status update to our future land use plan amendment, which is also our RAC application. It's a replenishment of the residential units within the Regional Activity Center. So we received comments from the Broward County and recommendations, I could say. The Parks and Open Space Department recommended additional 10 acres to facilitate these additional residential units that we're requesting within the RAC application. And the 10 acres we did locate with the city manager throughout the city. There's some new parks that are coming with the development. City Place is helping with the city park here at City Hall. There's the WAVE projects that have a parkland in between the two developments that will become City Park as well, and a few other locations throughout the city that we've identified. They also made comments about our water supply. Based on the water supply plan update the city recently did, they agree that we have adequate amount of water supply to serve these additional residential units. They've also recommended and actually required that we allocate 15% of these additional units to be affordable housing. So if it was the 4,000 units, it'd be 600 of those units. And also the comments from Priority Planning, which is also Sea Level Rise, they made the recommendations that we heard at the last meeting, the resolution and ordinance. I think the ordinance is on second reading for adoption, which adopts these higher level interim design standards for stormwater management for the new development that's coming to the city. The county also made a comment that the ordinance that we are adopting tonight, if we do adopt on second reading, would be a model ordinance for other cities within the county. And they really commend us on that, on adopting that. So the purpose of this is obviously to reduce the allowable height and density within the Regional Activity Center. Oh, we lost signal. Okay, we're back. And And we also want to prohibit height variances requests. So the height that we're proposing here, we're very strict on. We don't want to allow any variance requests for these heights. And dense and use variances are already prohibited within the code. I'm going to go through each zoning district briefly, show you a graphic, so you can kind of see. I have the streets outlined along the borders, Sterling Road, Old Griffin Road. So if you're not familiar with the city center, you can kind of see if you're located or in that area. So how I have it shown is on the blue on the left is the existing rack code for the units that have been allocated. We are now down to 0 units, and that's why we are replenishing the residential unit count. So to the left is the existing code, which allows, as you can see, with a max height of 14 stories and a max density of 150 dwelling units per acre. We're proposing to reduce that by eliminating the incentives and just allowing the by right of 7 stories, a max height, and 50 dwelling units per acre. And that was the city setting zoning section. This is the East Dana Beach Boulevard mixed use area. This is along East Dana Beach Boulevard on the northern end, the western end before you get to Gulfstream Road. And the existing zoning allowed up to 14 stories with incentive and 75 dwelling units per acre. The new proposed zoning code would restrict that maximum height to 7 stories and 35 dwelling units per acre. This is the Gateway Mixed Use Zoning District, which is a little more east along East Dana Beach Boulevard. You can see it's just where the new Seaview project is, the Motel 6, those development projects there. So the existing zoning code would allow, again, 14 stories with the incentive and 100 dwelling units per acre. We're requesting to reduce that to 7 stories max height and 50 dwelling units per acre. This is the South Federal Highway mixed use corridor. It's along South Federal Highway on the south side, closer to between Sterling and Sheridan Street, if you can see the graphic. And the existing code allowed up to 8 stories with incentive and a density of 50 dwelling units per acre. We're recommending a reduction of 2 to 4 stories and 25 dwelling units per acre. So how do you get to the 2 to 4? The 4 would be the higher allowable height closer to Federal Highway, away from those residential single-family duplex units, and transition down if they had a large enough site to do so. So as you can see, each zoning district, we pretty much deleted the incentive. There is no more incentive to allow those additional heights that we were allowing previously. So we listed the zoning incentives that were previously in the zoning code, so you could see what we are eliminating: the public open space, allowing them to reduce the height by 2 stories if they provided some square footage on site for public open space. Attainable housing, there was a credit there for them to also gain density and height. The sustainable building practices, we feel this is an important component, and we would like to require this as part of the development. So no longer having it as an incentive, but having it as a requirement. We're still working on the details of that, if it would be a maximum or minimum square footage of development, maybe 20,000 square feet would have to meet this LEED. We'll come back to you with that when we have the zoning text amendment. This is really just to show you where we're heading in that direction and get the consensus from the commission to move forward. So the other incentives, the public parking and the public parks, would also be removed. So what are the next steps? So the RAC replenishment application has gone through Broward County. They've made their recommendations, which I went through. They agree that the city can service these additional residential units. So it goes before the Broward County Planning Council May 25th. Once it goes through that public hearing, they will prepare it for the Broward County Commission. It has to go for first and second reading through them. In the meantime, staff's going to prepare the zoning text amendments that would be the zoning code for these zoning districts, and bring them to you for consideration at first and second reading. Then after the county commission finishes their first reading in September, it'll go to the state for their review. They take a few months to have their review, and they'll provide their feedback at November, December. So we are anticipating having the RAC application approved through the county and the state by the end of this year, and hopefully have those units available by the beginning of next year, 2024. And I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Eleanor. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Any questions from the commission? No? Okay. Do I have a consensus to move forward with this? All in favor?
The text amendment coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll prepare a text amendment and it'll come back for first reading late summer. All right?
Wait, let me make sure I have a consensus. All in favor? Aye? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Salvino, you can say aye. That's why I do hand raise. That's why I do hands. Exactly. All right, great. Thank you, Eleanor. Okay, now on to item 3.4, the presentation of the proposed design for C.W. Thomas Park. This is a Parks and Recreation item.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, IT is working on the screens to make sure, because I know that Commissioner James,
Mine's not
Vice
working.
Mayor Llewellyn. Okay.
Is this something that we're going to do all together as well as the, at the end, Mayor, for discussion and possible action? Since we're already hearing this, can we
Yes,
do it
yeah,
all
I'm
together?
gonna move up 10.1 to this after the discussion.
Thank you.
Okay, the presentations is on all the big monitors inside and out and outside as well. Oh, you need to go to the bathroom?
Our monitors are down, but you guys can, I think we're all. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Eric.
All right, good evening again. Eric Brown, Parks and Recreation Director. Bringing before you an exciting project. We are still excited about this project. Since our last meeting or our last presentation here in the commission meeting, we met with a few of the elected officials, and what you guys will see tonight is an added walking trail with exercise equipment around the campus, a third room added to the existing building that will be going up, synthetic turf on the football field. Mist stations will be incorporated during the construction. Met with Randy today and found that out. And a press box will be added. So I will bring BNA up. Randy will come up now and he will present a presentation of this project.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. Randy Hollingworth with Mayor Ahamil. There it is. Thank you for having us here tonight. We're really excited about this project. I hope we can move it forward. It's an exciting project for the city and a great opportunity, I think, for the community to have a new public recreation facility in their neighborhood. I think, for the most part, many people have seen this is not moving forward. Nope. Oh, maybe it's just I was not pressing hard enough. Sorry about that. This is the master plan that you see for the project. The north is straight up. At the top is Northwest 2nd Street, and you can see the overall site there with some of the labels. I'm going to go through and give you a full presentation on the site and the building. This is the new community center on the northwest corner of the site. This is over to the west of where the existing community center is located. We have a new lap pool that will be installed to the east of that. Then we have the large recreation field, which will be a synthetic turf football field, multi-purpose field. We also have a new basketball court, 2 playgrounds, and then there's additional open space for sort of casual recreation, and also the preservation of some of the landscaping, which we thought was very important on the southeast corner of the park. The community center itself, I'm going to go through and give a fairly good description of that facility. You can see here the plan of the building, which is the same orientation as the site, so north is straight up. And I'm going to take you through the building, starting at the entrance. This is the program that we have for the facility. There are a number of rooms in that I'll go through, but this gives you the square footage of each of the rooms. As Mr. Brown had said, we have added an additional classroom to the facility, so there are now actually 3 classrooms, but they have a movable partition between them so they can be opened up into one larger classroom facility. Starting at the entry on the north, you'll come into the building and through the lobby. If you turn left, you go out to the swimming pool area, the restrooms that service the swimming pool area. There will also be a cafe that will be serviced by a kitchen on the pool area itself. If you go straight through the lobby, you also come out into the area on the rear of the building, which will be an outdoor cafe to service the people in the park. There will be access to the playground, the park, the sports field. Also, there will be a restroom facility there for people in the park that want to use restrooms in case the building is not open. So it has full access as much as possible for people in the park. If you turn right, you will go down the hallway. Of course, there's also the restrooms. You have a recreation office conference room to the right. You have a youth after-school area to the right. You'll also have the area, if you turn left, you'll go into the exercise area, which is part of the gymnasium. And that is the large area you see there in pink. That'll have the facilities for bleachers, indoor basketball, a walking area around the court itself to provide some exercise for people who want to use the indoor facility on those hotter Florida days, which we have plenty of. And on to the right, as you move past the gym, will be these 3 classrooms that have a dividable wall in between them to open them up into one large classroom. That's the actual floor plan of the building. These are some renderings that we have of the building, looking from the north down to the to the southwest. You can see the pool on the left side, the building on the right side, and the entry into the building. It's I think it's going to be a really exciting building. It's very colorful. It's animated to create sort of that sense of community and give a real identity to that neighborhood. And these are different views of the building. This is looking at the building from Northwest 2nd Street. The pool is off to your left, and the outdoor cafe is right there. This is the view from the swimming pool area itself back to the building. That's the hallway into the lobby. You also have the cafe on the left, which will service the people in the swimming pool area. This is a view of the cafe on the back of the building, which is open to the people in the park, and they can use this for refreshments when the cafe facility is open. And to your left is the access into the building, and then the gymnasium itself will have windows around it, so it has full natural light and visibility from the park. This is the front elevation of the building, looking south. This is from the northwest corner of the building. And this is from northwest 10th Court, looking back eastward. Get my directions right here. These are some of the ideas for the colors. We're still working on this. This is not the final selection of colors and materials, but as you can see, we want to make it a colorful building, an attractive building, and very friendly for the community to come and use it, because this is open for all the community. And these are some elevations of the building, both the north elevation looking south. The south elevation is from, if say you're standing in the sports field or the playgrounds looking back north. To the left there is the gymnasium with the windows. And then both the east and west elevation provide you all the different views of the building. The cost estimate was carried out on this project. We are now, with the additional items that Mr. Brown spoke about, we are at approximately $20,100,000 for the budget for this building. And that includes everything you saw on the plan, with the addition of the press box, the synthetic turf field, additional classroom on the facility. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll start. Commissioner James?
I just have a few questions first. Just from what you have said, Randy, and thank you for the presentation. So just for clarification, because with the meeting that I had with you and staff, for the 2 classrooms, I was told at that time that 2 accommodated over 100 collectively together. And so the 3 classrooms, it is still at 115 persons that could fit in there?
Let me do a very quick calculation for you.
Now, Randy, you knew I was going to ask you this.
I didn't know you.
I just want to make sure that we have adequate amount of space for our seniors. We anticipate continuing to grow.
Based on reclassifying those rooms as a lecture hall, we can have up to 15 people, one person per 15 square feet for the capacity per the code.
Okay, what does that mean?
It'll give you about 100 people for the 3 classrooms.
So now it's 100 people for the 3 classrooms.
That's the best we could do. We went back and looked at the code. We were looking at one person for 20 feet in the classroom definition. If we rename it a lecture hall, we can get one person per 15. It's based on your seating arrangement. So for those 3 classrooms, and I believe they're at 5, if I can put it back up for a second, I can look at the square footage. I think it's the last slide. Yeah, oh, I can't read that. Let me go back to, that's impossible to read. There's a blow up of the.
It's like the first or second slide.
I'm sorry, I should have put that at the end. I thought this would come up. I think they're 500 each, but I have to look at that.
It's at 500 and something
Yeah.
each. I just have a
I
concern.
think the third one's a little larger than the other 2 because it should be this one. I apologize. Okay. Oh.
568, 568, 588.
Oh, okay, that's more than I thought. Okay, I said 500 per classroom. I thought it was 500.
Okay.
So it was how much again? I'm sorry. You can read it better than me.
568, 568, 588.
Okay, I can tell you 568. 68 plus.
Okay, come through, Frank, Money Man. I think I'm doing it now. Well,
114 people.
right, so we're still kind of at the same number that I was told for 2 classrooms. Now it's 3
And we added
classrooms.
the
So
3,
did we
yeah.
just add a partition to say we have 3 classrooms, or did
No,
we actually?
no,
use
we
it?
added, if you look at, let me go
So
back.
what was the original then? Because I was told the original was over 100 people for 2 classrooms when I met.
When you say original, do you mean?
When I
which-
met with you, the city manager.
Well, they were coming up with a number that I think it was too low for the square footage that's permittable by the code, and that's what we have to go by. It's not, how many people we like to fit in there, it's what the code allows. And based on, see those 3 blue, well, you can see a blue mass.
The cobalt blue.
When we had our previous meeting, there were only 2 of those blue areas.
Correct.
We have added that 3rd left one and it added to the rendering, so you really can't even tell on the rendering because it's different because it's just all part of the facade. But that comes to 115. That's if you could make them bigger, you can get more. And there's
Okay.
room there if you want to make them bigger.
Okay.
They could be extended longer. There's no regulation on how big they can be. That was the size they are right now.
Okay, and then the second thing right now is the barrier, the walking path around the basketball court. Is there any protection from the seniors while they
Well,
playing
I think-
basketball, not get
I think
ran
what
over?
you'd have to do is you'd have to program the basketball court to allow for that activity that probably would not be facilitating a full basketball game at the same time because you'd have a problem with conflict. So what
Right.
they could do is set hours to say, okay, this is a walking, enjoyable time in the gymnasium, and you're not playing basketball. I think that would be the best way to do it from a programming point of view.
Okay.
The problem with putting a facility around the back, you've got bleachers coming out of the walls and everything. It really would be very difficult to create a separate, I know you had mentioned an an outer walkway. It really needs to be on the inner ring of the basketball court, and it just means programming the basketball court to allow that to happen. If it's popular, reduce the number of basketball hours. And, if it's not popular and you want to play more basketball, I think it's a programming issue
Yeah.
for the building. Because that
Okay.
space available to walk on, it's not a problem. And I don't think we want to put a fence around the basketball court.
No.
That would be problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Commissioners, any other comments on this item? Okay.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
I
Eric.
failed to mention that we were going to bring Frank up to actually give us some numbers as well so that we can be transparent with everybody on some numbers that we crunched while we were actually doing this with Randy, so.
Okay. Do you want to wait, or do you want to say no?
Thank you, Eric, and good evening, everyone. Frank DiPaolo, Chief Financial Officer. Just so everybody's aware, the building cost that's been presented now is $20,100,000. If you remember, we borrowed a little over $18 million. When we pay that back over time with interest, that's going to come out to around $23.3 million. So we're throwing in some additional funding of about $3 million to get us to the 20.1, and then so the total cost of the building really to the city, to the taxpayers, is $26.5 million when you look at the total that we're paying with interest and everything like that. On top of that, we have pretty significant operating costs because we really haven't been discussing what it costs to run a facility like this and operate it and maintain it in perpetuity. And what we're looking at compared to the current building, C.W. Thomas, this is 3 times the square footage of a building. And you have supplies and maintenance, you have electricity, water, and the insurance cost. I think everybody knows that insurance is a major issue right now. And we're going to have some significant increases to our insurance policy just because of everything that's going on in that market right now. And I spoke to our insurance agent, based on the size of this building and the rates that we're rolling into in 25, not next year, because by the time this building is done, that's going to make our policy go from around $8,000 a year for this C.W. Thomas facility to around $90,000 a year, just for insurance. So when you look at all the operating costs, we push everything out. Our total cost just to turn the lights on is around $662,000 a year. That's the first year, just starting with the people that Eric and Cassie provided a list of staff that we'd need to operate this building all day and keep it secure, keep it clean, and all that. And then the maintenance costs ongoing. When you look at over time, over a 20-year period, because that's how long we're borrowing the money to pay for the building, both the cost of the building and the cost of all these supplies and maintenance and everything equates to around $46.4 million over 20 years, which is about $2.3 million a year that it costs us to own and operate this facility. So just want to make sure you're all aware of that. And then obviously the bigger we go and the more we add to the building itself, the more those costs escalate.
I think Commissioner Davis, she's been waiting. Good. No?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Frank. I just think that there is I did attend the community meeting this past week, and I feel that it is important to acknowledge the elephant that's in the room and the community members that I have spoken to since the community meeting. And through those conversations, post the meeting, in Publix, in different phone calls, I think it's very important to acknowledge the fact that we were, or the city presented a rendering to this public that was not presented to this commission for approval, and those plans were changed. And I think it's important to acknowledge that change and that the community feels that they were shown one thing and given another. So I think that's important to own that, and I talked to the manager about it, talked to different people, and going forward, we have to find different solutions for how to make sure that what we say we're going to do is what we really are going to end up being able to do. So that's part of what I wanted to be able to acknowledge, that we own that, and that moving forward, this is, I think, for the most part, a very great project for this city. I do not want to hold up the project for things that we can do to fix it, to move it forward. I think it's very important that we give C.W. Thomas what it deserves for after all these years of being neglected, which is a state-of-the-art park. In speaking to the residents, that indoor track, one of the residents said that they wanted to see different markers. So if however many times it takes to go around the track, that we actually put that in there. I've spoken to the city manager. I want to make sure that we have listened and that we implement the things that the community has said that they want to see there. Also, I just want to make sure that we talked about the parking was another issue that was brought up during the community meeting, And we want to make sure that if it's necessary, that we can use that green space for those park, to have additional parking, that we are going to look at other options other than Collins Elementary for the parking areas. And then the other concern was the bathrooms from what they were before, what they are now, as to what they are now. I don't know the answer to that question, so I just wanted to see if you could give that. But I think first and foremost, it's important to acknowledge where we, did not accurately present what we are presenting now, and see a pathway forward, so how we can get started on this project, so to give this community the park that they deserve. And I think overall, everybody's willing to move forward as long as we have, the things that they've recommended in place. So those are my thoughts. And if you could just answer if you know the difference between.
I'm not sure the question on the bathrooms. I'm sorry. I hadn't heard that before.
That was post-conversation.
The quality of the bathrooms that are there now?
No, the size. I don't know. These are if the square footage is larger now than what they were previously. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't know the square footage in the existing building, how many bathrooms. I mean, this is very well facilitated with bathrooms, because we have ones that service both the park, the building, and the pool, all separate, not separate. The building and the park are the same. The pool is a separate one, so that people out at the pool don't have to go trooping through the building to get to the bathroom. So it's very well facilitated with restrooms, and they meet the number meet the code requirements. So, but I don't know what the existing is. I'm sorry.
I think they just wanted to hear,
And there'll be beautiful bathrooms too. I mean, they'd be very nice bathrooms.
Thank you. Thank you. Those were the issues I believe that were brought to me, and so those were my.
And I'll say, as we go through the design process, which this is very preliminary, we'll try to do as many things. I mean, we've heard the same comments. We were at the same meeting, and so we'll certainly try to do things on this plan that we can, whatever, those types of things that were discussed that they're not there now, and see what we can do to make it better, the best we can. So, I promise as the designer, we'll make every effort as we go through the process.
Okay, Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner James?
Yes, I guess I can go through my list of the stuff that I have. Well, most of us were in attendance for that meeting, and we've heard the community loud and clear. I know about insurance costs, that they're going to go up, but that's going to go up on all facilities. Operating costs, and that happens with any new facility that we are going to build. So those numbers are always going to be there, whether it's CW, Frost Park, or PJ Milley. But we also have to factor in all the revenues that are going to be coming in from all the development that's happening around our area. The project started at a little over $18 million. I know that we were also giving $3.5, I believe, million from Congresswoman Debbie Marcy Michaud. Am I correct with that number, Frank? Right. So that already is $21.6 million for the facility. I know that with the interest, that we gained another $1 million, but I won't even talk about that. So with the $21.6 million. And the other things that the community were saying that were very important to them, as far as the parking lot, which I think is completely necessary. I think we're only thinking about Saturday football games, or maybe an event here or there, but we're not thinking about practice that happens every day at the same time for about 5 or 6 different age groups that happen daily during football season at this park. And the parking that's there, the parking that is proposed, cannot accommodate that. That's coming from someone who walks to the park, because there is no parking at that park. That is around $295,000, $425. The cover exercise area is another item that was brought up by the community. That priced out, and these are your numbers, Randy, are $300, and this is including all of the contingencies and all of the increases. I chose the highest number. That is $500,000. Covered bleachers for the 2 additional covered bleachers is around $164,000. So with all of those monies, the 18.1 plus the 3.5 that the Congresswoman gave us, and plus all, to add those 3 items back, is $22.4 million in change, which is only a difference of $844,000 to be added to the project. And even without the money that Congresswoman gave us, although I know that the money is still there that the Congresswoman gave us, just to put that on record, but you know, we still don't have that full 18.1 from the loan. Even without that, it's an additional $4.3 million. And so I just, you know, want to understand, I want everyone to understand that we know how inflation happens. We're living in it. Inflation has happened with this project, and I do think that we could give some concessions of these very important parts to the community, and it's no longer a $12 million increase. It's a third of that. We're decreasing 2/3 of everything else that this community has wanted. You know, we're cramming them into rooms for Gracefully Agent because we can only fit 114 in there, and they have over 114 people in the program as we speak. You're going to have to program the basketball court now, so it's not going to have full access to play basketball. And now we're trying to, you know, we have to think about the safety concerns about parking across the street, having our children cross the street at Collins Elementary to try and come and play at our facilities. And so I am asking this commission, after we hear, I guess, from the residents or however the mayor is running it, if we can consider that. I do want to move forward, but I do know that with these numbers that it's absolutely it's possible for us to move forward. We come back with budget requests all the time for different projects and things that are important to us and things that are important to the communities. I mean, we have budget transfers on this agenda as we speak, and so I'm asking if we could come together and do us right, especially since we already had raised $3.5 million of those dollars from Congresswoman, which equaled the $21.6 million. And with those other items, with that cost, it only is a difference of $844,000. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Frank.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Thank you, Commissioner James. I just wanted to address some of the financial information. So we borrowed $18,060,000, just over $18 million. The cost for the architects is $1.4 million. We have a contract with them. That cost has to come out of that money. We don't have $18.06 million to put towards the construction. So right now we have just under $17 million, and that includes that we rolled in about $250,000 before we issued the loan. And that it brought us to about 18.3, and we're paying them 1.4 million. That brings us down to about 16.9. If you add in the 3.5 from Congresswoman Schultz got us, that puts us at around 20.5 million.
Okay.
Okay, so about 20.4, 20.5. We have earned some interest on the money that's been sitting in the bank, but we're only allowed to earn 2.5% because that's the amount that we're borrowing at. So we've earned more than that, but we're capped. So we've earned a few $100,000. I can't tell you exactly the amount because there's a calculation that has to be done because we're only allowed to earn so much. But the other issue is this isn't a designed cost. This is an estimated cost based on a design. And once it's fully scoped out, we have a construction manager at risk that's going to give us a guaranteed maximum price contract. And that's going to be after they bid out all the supplies and all the different disciplines that have to be done, come back to you with a real price. This is still preliminary because this hasn't gone out to the market yet to see what it's really going to be. So even though we have 20.4, it's good to have, and this proposal is 20.1. It's good to have just a little bit of cushion in there for contingency because we don't know what that actual contract's going to come back at. So I just want to make sure you're clear on exactly. I mean, in the bank, money we have, and we don't have the money from the Congresswoman yet. In the bank, we have around 17 million right now for the construction. Thank you.
Okay, so you're saying we have 17 million for the construction, and that's, does that include the 3.5 from the Congresswoman?
No, you would add it to that.
was 3 million, Frank.
Yeah, it was 3.5.
It's 3.5.
Yeah.
It was 3.5.
Yes, about 20 and a half.
Mhm.
But we haven't received those funds yet, but it's obviously it's been promised to us.
Right. So the other numbers that I got from BNA, if the commission decided that we wanted to move forward with that parking lot, the covered exercise area, and the covered bleachers, you guys would find a way to make it happen?
I can only do what the board,
Right.
what the
That's what I'm
commission
saying.
decides.
I said we decide, correct?
We would have to if you order us to.
Oh, not order. Okay. Thank you. So that's my ask, to see if we can actually give the residents some of the stuff that they are asking, that they asked for at that meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner James, and thank you, Frank. A very detailed presentation there. Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Thank you, Mayor. I know one of the things that I heard at the community meeting that was, everybody seemed to be primarily concerned about was the parking issue and having to walk down the street from Collins Elementary. Am I correct that the only place on that, on the plans where we would be able to add any additional parking would be in those green spaces?
Yes. And the problem with the one on the southeast corner is there's a large grade change, and there's a lot of existing trees. So our efficiency in the parking lot is not very good because we want to save the big trees. Probably the better place would be on the northeast corner.
Yeah, when you tear down the existing building.
And, you know, we could slide
That's
the
where the pool's
basketball
going
court down, and that would also put the parking right beside the building, which is probably more, a good relationship, and we won't have the impact of the grade change. So I would suggest it go on the northeast corner.
If you were to add parking there, how many parking spaces do we think it would give us?
I don't know on the northeast corner. I know initially the master plan had like 50 parking spaces, but it was like mid-block. And at that time, we
Right.
didn't have grades, we didn't know the slopes and
Right.
all those things. And when we looked at it, we went, wow, we're gonna wipe all these trees out. We met the code requirement for the parking on the street, so that's why we went with the 102, 108 parking spaces around the site, which the city was saying that would meet our code requirements for the building and the park. The park is really hard to do a parking quote because the city doesn't have parking codes for parks. Most don't. It's very difficult.
Right.
So
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners? I'm going to open this up to the public who requested to speak tonight. So I'm going to bump up the citizen comments for this item, clerk. And I would like to start with Ricky Young. Mr. Young, please state your name and address. Thank you for coming here tonight.
To the mayor, vice mayor, commissioners, and everybody on this dais. My name is Ricky Young. Along with my wife, we're not only a resident, but a homeowner. My concern is with the first plan that we was presented. We was assured that we was gonna get that. We was assured that the monies was there. Between the last elections and now, the plan has been changed to something else. Now, for me, myself, when a person promised me something and assured it's gonna be there and don't do it, I call it a lie. They assured me, and I've been coming to this place. I don't speak a lot because sometimes my voice is loud, and that's the way I am. Now, another time, if you're gonna lie to me, least what you can do now so we can move forward, I'm not talking about yesterday, is to give a public apology. Also, a written apology like you had in the paper when we had that first showing. When you do that, and we get the covered seats for the bleachers, and the other item that was mentioned, then I could take it into consideration. Because one thing I can understand is, I don't like to be lied to. I don't care who you are or what you are, or what your political affiliation. A lie is a lie. And one person told me this. I'm not gonna mention that person's name. I'm gonna be transparent. And then later on, within that evening, I'm gonna try to be as transparent. So what is it? You gonna be transparent or not? So if we get those items, what the community is asking for, I'm all right with going forward. And please don't lie to me no more. I take it personal. I take it personal. I yield my time back.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Appreciate you coming up and speaking tonight. Next, we have Lorraine Reed. Ma'am, if you could come up, state your name and address. Lorraine? There you are. All right.
My name is Lorraine Reed. My address is 80 Southwest 8th Avenue, apartment 102 in Dania Beach. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for your comments. That's everything that we want, well, what we pretty much going to get from what he said. And that's to piggyback off Pastor Ricky there. We all had a problem with being told at the meeting last week that it's a concept. We wasn't told that in the beginning. If we were, we all wouldn't have had a problem with that. We were told at that groundbreaking, because we all were there, that that's what we was gonna get. We was promised that, but that's here nor there. My main concern today was about some of the behavior from that meeting last week. And I think we all do an apology today, because being told that by the city manager here that all she hearing is bickering and whining after they're spinning. No, that, and I quote you.
Well,
sweetie.
you're quoting me incorrectly because I never said the word bickering or whining.
Okay.
So I'm putting that on the record.
Now here, I'm not the only one who heard that in that meeting. And I'm not here to lie on you. And then she also stated, gave another young lady a comment stating after everybody spoke, she said she only, one person had something good to say. Everybody else was just complaining. Those were her words. And none of us deserve that. None of us at all. And as a city leader, part of your job is to handle conflict and know how to resolve some of that. And not by insulting your residents that you're so-called here to work for. That's my main concern. And I appreciate it if you guys can give us the parking, especially for our seniors, because to have to walk across that street from Collins Elementary and stuff, that's very dangerous for the seniors and our youth. And at that, I yield my time back.
Thank you, Mrs. Reed. Okay. 1 second. Okay, next we have Pastor Paul R. Wiggins. If you could, sir, please state your name and address.
Want me to say it from here?
No, it's okay. Thank you for presenting the awards earlier as well, sir.
Amen. Thank you. Pastor Paul Wiggins, 215 Northwest 5th Avenue here in Dania Beach. Certainly, it's been a while since I've been in these chambers due to health reasons, but I'm back and ready to continue the work. Now, I've heard the issues, and I understand the issues, but as I take a 50-foot view looking down, I want to say this: $20 million, $21 million, is a lot of money, and I have not been in this community longer than many in this room, but as I look at what has transpired over the past few years, this is the first, largest, and most significant investment, non-housing commitment in this community, and to a degree, it needs to be applauded that it is happening. Now, I do understand the concerns before this body tonight, and I believe I heard, maybe not a commitment, but I believe I heard there will be a close look at how do we make the adjustments, what adjustments, when we make the adjustments. And I think that's what I'm hearing is desired. But I'm also hearing that what I've heard tonight is that there's an opportunity to give strong consideration to those items that are coming before the community here tonight. Let's, as I say to my congregation, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen so that everybody can be happy. And the one last thing that I want to say, when the basketball courts are finished, when the basketball courts are finished, I'm challenging Commissioner James to a one-on-one game.
Well, good luck. Okay, and we have another public comment on this from former Mayor and Commissioner Bobby Grace. Please state your name and address, Mrs. Grace.
Bobby H. Grace, 110 Northwest 8th Avenue in the great city of Dania Beach, Florida. To the mayor, commissioners, to the residents of this great city, Dania Beach, Florida, our oldest city in Broward County, I am indeed happy to be standing in the building once more. There are several things that I'm going to talk about tonight, and I'll go down my list. The first one is the indoor track in the building. We would like to have it remain there, and also putting the markers on the building as we are doing our exercises to see exactly how far we have gotten, whether we've gotten a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, etc. How many people will be able to, and I was very disappointed with the numbers that you gave us, 115. Our seniors program is up to 157 right now, so that's not going to, we're going to have to work on that. We're going to have to try and figure out something else, because right now, when we have our meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're almost on top of each other. Yes, I did ask if it was possible for us to remove some of the trees for some green space for the parking, because we're going to need that parking. I live right there on that park for the last 50 years, and the kids use that park, utilize it a lot. The parking that we have for the football and the basketball is not enough to accommodate us at this point. And we're building a new facility, and I know that we're going to be using that a lot. I'm asking you if you can keep the old building intact until you finish the new building. That was not addressed, but I think that's something
That's
that
in the plan. Yes,
we
ma'am.
need to talk about, okay?
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the sewage plant when we start doing our pilings and so forth, that we make sure that we don't upset anything that's happening there. The kitchen should be a little bit larger. Please separate the playgrounds from the small children and the large kids. And I'm asking you, when we put this out for bid, that we consider having minority participation in the building part of it and the contracting part of it. It's very important to us because it's being built in our community. I'm hoping that you will be able to consider everything that we're asking you. Some people said $21 million is a lot of money. I'm saying it's way overdue. We should have double by that, but we'll talk about it later.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Grace. So that's it with the public comments. Go ahead, come on up. State your name and address. You have to come up to the... Oh, it's the same guy. 81, wow. Look like 62. Name and address, please.
Microphone on. And I've been living in Dania Beach for 51 or 52 years.
Your address?
260 Northwest. One of my address is 260 Northwest 14th Way, Dania Beach. I stay there and I stay at my other residence or whatever. I think I have a solution for the parking, but it's money. I believe that if you can get some money from the other parks, maybe $2 million each or whatever, And you can purchase the houses on the western side, on the one-way street, opposite Cullen Elementary. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 homes. You push that down, and you get your parking. That's simple, but getting the money,
Yeah.
it's a different story. But I think money shouldn't be the issue. Why? We have a lot of money coming into Dania, and that is a spot when people drive down the street, they're going down to where the action is, and when they look at it, they'll see something magnificent with parking, with everything there. And that street going to be a main street. So people want to see that. People are coming from New York to spend some time down here in Dania Beach, in our area there. That was lost for quite a while. So we need, if we can do that, I think your parking will be solved. It may seem impossible, but I don't think so. So that's what I got to say.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate your comments. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Mr. Mayor?
Ma'am, you're going to have to come up, and you're going to have to state your name and your address. Yeah, this is the final comment on this.
My name is
Thank you.
Gail Davidson, 140 Northwest 14th Avenue, Dania. My question was, in building anything, there's always should be considered revenue. No revenue coming in for none of these projects, and like renting spaces out? That's the question for the panel. No revenue? Yes, that's the question I'm asking.
Well, I'm
Like you rent out Frost Park, you rent out IT Park. I didn't hear anybody say anything about renting nothing out at the Modella Park.
Well,
CW Park.
I know that the seniors use it, and I guess it could be a possibility in the future. We do rent out IT Parker Center, yeah, and we rent out CW.
Right, you do, but
Okay.
no one spoke on renting out, getting revenue in.
It's not going to be $2 million a year, I promise you that.
I didn't ask that question. I asked, was it considered as far as being rented out?
Yes.
Okay,
It will
thank
be
you.
rented out. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. The two who just spoke, please come up and fill out a form so we have you on record.
The form is out on the hall. There's a desk.
All right, I have a couple comments on this. This has been a major item since I became mayor 6 months ago, okay? This project was started in 2018, 5 years ago. And there was a groundbreaking 2 months before I was elected. And, you know, I can't promise, I can't speak for the former commission, what you guys were told, but I know what's on the table now. And we represented it, we brought it back, they made changes, brought it to the community. I feel like this is a very positive impact for the community. Like you said, this neighborhood hasn't been invested in a long time. That C.W. Thomas Park was redone 2006, I believe. That was the last time, so was that 17 years ago? And you know, they have a door that's 20 feet in the air that doesn't go anywhere, and the park definitely needs a lot of tender loving care. For being 2006, you think it would be in better shape. So with this new plan, I feel if we get it done in 2023, we look at the park in 2043, it's still going to be in pretty good shape as compared to when we redid it last time in 2006. Now, I'm involved in this park, okay? I don't just speak on it. I go to the events at this local park. I'm a coach at the local park, and I'm signing my son up there to play football for 6U at the park. So I know a lot of the neighbors that live in that neighborhood. I've spoken to the residents as well. And I feel like this is positive. There's obviously not everything can be given. And we have to get to the other parks too. Our budget is $45 million for our four parks, okay? 3 major parks, PJ Milley, Frost Park, and C.W. Thomas. And this is over half the budget. Well, almost half the budget, 45% of the budget. And it's going to be a positive impact, but we have to get started on it because the more that we wait, the more that we delay this project, the numbers are just going to keep adding up and adding up. So I'd like to move up item 10.1 to action on this item. And I would like the city clerk to call Yeah. Commissioner James.
Yes, I have a motion. I make a motion to approve, what is that, 10.1?
Yes.
Item
Yeah,
10.1 as amended. I want to amend my motion to include the parking lot, to include the 2 additional bleachers, and to include the covered exercise area, which is an additional, I don't know, $700,000 or so to the cost that we have currently.
Do I have a second? The motion has failed. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to pass item 10.1. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Alora, can you please call roll? Starting with Commissioner Davis. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
So I just want to add.
Before we call roll,
Before we
Vice
call
Mayor's gonna
roll,
say
I just,
something.
because we can technically have some discussion at this point also. So I do want to say one thing, just one thing. That something that we all need to think about here is that just because if this passes as it is right now, it does not mean that we can't look at these items again in the future as time goes on and try to adapt, and depending upon the money and where that money is and how much everything costs. It doesn't mean that this is the end of it. It just means that this would be a beginning where we can start and we can put a shovel in the ground. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Please call roll.
Wait a minute, sorry. I just want to make sure that some of the things that can be put into the plan are going to be put into the plan. The things such as the markers for the indoor track and all of that. I want to make sure what is being approved, because as it was before, none of those things were in that plan. So I do want some of the things in the plan. I want all of the things in the plan, but I want to make sure exactly what we're voting on that is in the plan for what we discussed, or what is not in the plan. I want clarity on what is approved and what is not approved, because I think the parking could be approved without additional cost. There's certain things I'm not clear on exactly what we're approving based on the discussion. So I want to get some clarity on that in case there needs to be a different motion.
Do you need, excuse me, through the mayor, do you need the Parks Director to go over all the things?
That we've included from the community. There's certain things that we said we would do from the community, and certain things that
So we
are
came
not.
back tonight with,
And maybe I missed it.
with those things that we heard from the community meeting.
Okay.
And we also met with Commissioner James, and we came back with those things. We will also look at adding those bleachers back. If we can add those bleachers back, they will be added back. As Vice Mayor said, once this is approved, it's an ongoing process, and it's an open book that we will come to you guys on a quarterly basis to give updates on what is what. So yes, though the gym itself, our seniors are in the gym, in the building right now. There's no kids, they're there in school. So they would have access to the gym, and we'll put a marker on the wall to say 10 laps, a half a mile, or whatever the case may be. So that will be added on there. As well as the outside, we have a walking trail with exercise equipment that will allow those walkers to know how many times they walked around to equal a mile, how many times they walked around to equal 2 miles, or whatever the case may be. Today, we got notification that one of our passive parks right next to C.W. Thomas have put all the exercise equipment in. The canopy of trees is very nice at Mildred Jones. That project is to completion. As you guys gave us permission to go out and upgrade all of our passive parks, that is what we've been doing. Mildred Jones was the next park in line. It is done. Melaleuca, it is done. Tootie Adler, hopefully by Friday, it will be done. We will have a walkthrough. So all of our passive parks are being updated as our major parks are being redeveloped.
Right. And the only thing I didn't hear is about the parking. for the green space, using the green space for the.
So the
park.
green space the green space will stay intact. If there come a need, we met with the city manager. If they come a need that we need to put down some cement in one of those green spaces, we can always go back and look at that.
Okay, could we please call roll? Alora?
Commissioner Davis?
I need to pass right now. I need to digest. Can you move on?
I'm sorry. Commissioner.
She needs to pass right now.
So those are no.
You gotta vote. You have to vote in your order.
I'm not ready to vote. Is to pass it with, repeat the motion then. I want to repeat the motion.
It's the motion that
Vice
passed item
President,
10.1
As presented.
with the presentation that was
stipulation.
provided.
With
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
Commissioner James?
No.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Mayor, the motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Thank you all for your comments. This is definitely going to be a great impact on the community, and I appreciate you guys for being flexible as well. All right, on to item 3.5. We're going to move to the Nyberg Swanson House update. This is a public services item. Denzer, if you could.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I'm so excited to let you know that we received a proposal from our consultant for historic renovations. So our attorney and I and our finance director are reviewing the proposal, make sure that we comply with the procurement rules. But this design, this interior design includes new roofs, includes electrical, mechanical, new floors, new doors, new windows, and also in the meanwhile, what we're doing is that we don't want any more damages. So our contractor is basically sealing the windows, replacing the broken windows, and changing the fascia so the rainwater would not come in. So within 14 months, that's our estimation, the construction will be completed. So after the design is done, within 6 months period, we are going to advertise for construction, and we are going to hire a contractor to do the renovations. That's all I have. In case if you have any questions, I may be able to answer.
Any questions for Denzer regarding Nyberg Swanson? So just to be clear, this is to restore the entire house. It's not just the exterior, it's not just the windows, it's not
Correct.
just the roof.
Correct.
It's the interior and
Interior,
exterior.
including new roof, new
The
electrical.
4-point, the electrical,
Exactly,
the roofing.
for everything.
The plumbing.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Real quick, what is, do we know if this is approved, what is the timeline on that?
Vice Mayor, what happened is that the total design timeline that we receive is about 5 months.
Okay.
So after the design is complete, we are going to advertise for construction. We expect about 2-3 months because 1 month is basically posted on the Demand Star and Sun Sentinel and everything. And after that, the construction will start. So based on the information that I received, total is about 14 months from today.
Do we have a cost estimate?
We have the cost estimate for proposal, little over $100,000 for design, but we may not have the construction cost estimate as of now because once we have the 30-60% design, we will have a much clear picture.
And is this being done simultaneously with as the Women's Club?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, because I know some work started on that
Well,
already.
the design is going to be, and then construction is going to start with the Nyberg Swanson House, and then also that we're looking for grants for Women's Club and everything.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Davis? Go ahead.
Sorry, I missed the update on the Women's Club because
Women's Club and Nyberg Swanson
I know
start with the
they were
design.
under the same.
Right, correct. It's going to start design, and then Nyberg Swanson construction will start. In the meanwhile, we're going to look for grants, that there are a lot of grants out there, and we try to get that grants. And once the Nyber Swanson is completed, we're gonna basically working on the women's club as well.
Okay, but there were not funds already previously designated
The
for,
Nyber, the
for
Nyber
the
Sw-
women's club, though.
As of now, that we have the Nyber Swanson, and then we're using some ARPA money and everything,
Okay.
and also that we're looking for some grants that our consultant promised us to look into it.
Okay, I
Okay.
just didn't hear that
Yeah,
clearly.
no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much, Denzer. Item 3.6, we're going to continue it with item 7.3 to the 5/23/23 meeting.
If we could have a motion, just so that it's clear on the record that it's going to the May 23rd meeting.
Yeah.
Is there a
Can we
motion?
make a motion, Commissioner Davis?
Can I make a motion to move the item 3.6 to the May 23rd meeting? Thank you.
And 7.3 with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And 7.3.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. The ayes have it. Motion passes. Okay, now we get to proclamations. Your person? The turquoise?
Yep.
You want to give it anyways or no? I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. All right, I'm going to start with a proclamation. We have 3 proclamations tonight, and presented by me, Vice Mayor Llewellyn, and Commissioner Davis. And we're going to start with a proclamation for National Safe Boating Week. So, whereas on average 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the United States, most of these incidents caused by human error and poor judgment, not by the boat, equipment, or environmental factors. And on June 23, 2023, the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary will celebrate its 84th year of volunteer service to Dania Beach and to the boaters of America. And whereas Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 39 proudly serves the U.S. Coast Guard Station Fort Lauderdale and the City of Dania Beach residents by teaching boating safety classes, conducting vessel safety checks, and provides for harbor safety patrols assisting the U.S. Coast Guard and local law enforcement agencies by patrolling the local waterways. And whereas each day more than 24,000 Coast Guard auxiliary volunteers continue to provide support to Coast Guard units across the U.S. by saving lives and property, assisting recreational boaters, conducting safety patrols, performing vessel safety checks, teaching boating safety courses to educate recreational boaters, and participating with U.S. Coast Guard in training and support missions. And whereas Flotilla 39, Dania Beach, supports boating safety by providing Operation Clear Channel support, providing safe transit for cruise ships, tankers, freighters, and other commercial vessel traffic through Port Everglades. And whereas this year, May 20 through 26, 2023, it's National Safe Boating Week in the United States, and the U.S. Coast Guard Station Fort Lauderdale and Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 39, Dania Beach, encourages all boaters to help raise awareness about boating responsibility and to take appropriate precautions before leaving the dock this season. And whereas boating is an important part of our national and local heritage, let us respect Safe Boating Week and carry that tradition forward by following common sense safety procedures and keeping our lakes, ICW, and the Atlantic Ocean safe and clean for all to enjoy. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City of Dania Beach Commission, I, A.J. Ryan IV, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, do hereby proclaim May 20 through 26, 2023 as National Safe Boating Week in the City of Dania Beach and urge all citizens to support the dedication and efforts of the U.S. Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Auxiliary by promoting year-round safe boating practices. Gentlemen. If you'd like to introduce yourself, say a few words.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor Ryan. Thank you. Council, I've stood before this council 4 times now. We originally started the Dania Beach Flotilla back in 2018. Started in November. We had a couple months. And since that time, the flotilla that supports Station Fort Lauderdale, and I have 2 Coast Guard members behind me, the vice commander for Dania Beach right now. I'm the commander for the division, the whole thing. I started that flotilla. We have now doubled in size and membership. We're now close to 60 members, just in Dania Beach alone, to promote boating safety for Dania Beach and keep continuing to support Station Fort Lauderdale. And I just want to thank the City of Dania for all your support and everything that you do to work alongside with us, Broward Sheriff and everybody else. And I have 2 members here from the station I'd like to introduce. Just introduce yourself.
Jeremy Campbell.
Cotton Harris.
And Peter Page is the vice commander for Dania Beach right now. We just want to thank everybody here for everything you do to support us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I was on the Coast Guard cutter USS Hamilton that was at our dock for 3-4 days, and I met the captain. Real pleasure, real privilege, and they're recruiting, saying that they're encouraging more to sign up. So you know, if you're ever interested in the Coast Guard, there's more than enough resources to help you learn. And thank you, gentlemen, for your service and for recognizing this Boating Safety Week. You mind if you come up, we get a picture?
We'd love to. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we'll stand up here. Down there. Hey. Nice to meet you.
Thank you all for your service. Thank you very much. Coast Guard gets forgotten a lot.
Semper Paratus.
All right, all eyes on me. Thank you. One, two, three. One more.
One more.
That's like 3 more.
One more.
Yeah, I get the whole year.
Got it?
Okay, I'll send
Okay, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Here, would you like the proclamation? All right.
Oh my God.
All right. You got it. Take care. Okay, we have Turquoise Takeover Week, sponsored by Vice Mayor Llewellyn.
Thank you, Mayor. Unfortunately, the person that I was going to present this to had to leave, so I will get it to him during the week. We've been doing this now for a few years. It was first brought to my attention by Michael Garcia, who was the gentleman that was here earlier. He is a member of the Florida Bar, very involved in a number of charitable events and different causes. And he also is the president of the Hispanic Vote in Broward County. So, but this has been an excellent initiative, and it's being done by several cities, and I think it's something that we need to continue to do in the future. Proclamation of Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida. Whereas Lung Force is a national initiative led by the American Lung Association to defeat lung cancer. And whereas Lung Force's annual Turquoise Takeover celebration unites the nation to raise critical awareness of lung cancer, the nation's leading cancer killer. And whereas about every 2.5 minutes, a person in the United States is diagnosed with lung cancer. And whereas lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths for women and men. And whereas lung cancer screening saves lives and advocacy and increased awareness will result in more high-risk individuals getting screened. And whereas public support for research and funding will result in new treatments and better methods of early detection. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, we do hereby proclaim this week, May 8th through 14th, 2023, as Turquoise Takeover Week in the city of Dania Beach, Florida, and do encourage everyone to learn more about lung cancer, risk factors, and early detection. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
I will hold on to this.
And we have a Teacher Appreciation Week proclamation, which is Parks and Rec, that Commissioner Joyce Davis is going to read for us.
We need some of that teacher energy back in here. So, let's do the proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends on providing quality education to all our students, and whereas teachers build relationships with students that enable young people to believe in their own potential, and whereas teachers work long beyond the normal school day to instruct and grade their students, and whereas teachers care about their students' social and emotional well-being and impart them with the skills they will need to thrive in adult life, especially in collaboration and critical thinking. And whereas teachers have adapted to unprecedented challenges to provide instruction while keeping students safe, and whereas the City of Dania Beach recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of our community. Now, therefore, on the behalf of the City of Dania Beach Commission, our Mayor, Archibald Ryan, the 4th Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, does hereby proclaim May 8th through 12th, 2023 as Teacher Appreciation Week in the city of Dania Beach, and do encourage all members of the community to join us in expressing their appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to our students. Dated this 9th day of May, 2023.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Davis. Oh, okay, perfect.
Let's give it up for our teachers.
Give it up for the teachers. Thank you. Yeah, for item 4.4 and 4.5, those are requests for two proclamations. One's National Poppy Day, one is National Maritime Day. I was seeing if I have approval from the commission regarding that.
Yes. Right.
Consensus? Yes, but I have a question. Yeah, we need the approval for the proclamations now. It's always been like that.
No, it has not always been like that. We
We-
always
there is a-
request, hold on, let me finish talking. We request the proclamations, and it typically comes to the commission. I've never had to go through this. Is it something new that we're doing?
If I may,
Attorney.
it's actually in compliance with what you've adopted. It predates me, and I happen to have looked it up because of some issue that came up, and I don't remember what it was. But this is actually the proper way of doing this.
So every time we have a proclamation, did we have to approve 1, 2, and 3?
In other words, if you're doing it
we
for
approved
days.
those last meeting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Consensus on item 4.4 and 4.5? Okay, we have a consensus. City Clerk, thank you. All right, now on to citizens' comments. Where to start? Let's see. All right, Brian Haber. Please come up, state your name and address, sir.
Brian Haber, 4496 Southwest 49th Court. Right behind Burger King, first home built in that neighborhood in 1955. My parents moved from New York to get away from the jungle and the anti-Semitism of New York, only to move down here where it was a real jungle, and the Klan was in charge of everything. So it was kind of a different kind of experience. Well, our neighborhoods were dotted with lower middle class homes. You know, people had starter homes and everything. They were from the Deep South. And we were in unincorporated Broward County, which means we were in purgatory. And it was very dark out there. There were, in the canals, there were alligators and snakes and everything. And the kids had no place to play. I mean, there was nothing down there. There was Frost Park, but not for our neighborhood. So down the road, there was a man named James O'Grady. He was a professional baseball player, and he had a vision, and he had a dream to get Little League Baseball up and running on Griffin Park and Griffin Road. And he wanted to get support, so he asked my father and he asked A.J. Ryan to help him out. And they got all kinds of merchants and everything to get it up, get it going. They cleared the fields and everything. And because of this man, we had baseball out there for 30 years. Do you remember what it was like when we started this commission meeting, when the parents were here with the kids and everybody was clapping? Remember, it was like a party. That's how it was down at Griffin Park. So what I'm asking on the 60th anniversary of this park, which is now named Melly Park, is to honor the man who got it all going, who cleared the fields, who got the dirt on it, who got the fences up, and who got the parents involved in the Civic Association. James O'Grady was the man that did it. And I'm just asking that his name be in charge, be on like a sign for him that would be named O'Grady Park. I just have one thing to show you here real quick. I know my time's almost up. There was a newspaper article that was written years ago. It said, Little Lost Park has brought joy to young players. That was in the newspaper article. But on the other side, it says, once upon a time in a faraway place, there was no Little League. and that's where it is right now. So, as a original member of that Little League era, that's what I'm asking Dania to do, because we voted in that neighborhood to make Dania Beach the city that we wanted to be in. And we're just asking that you would consider that, at least for that park. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haber. I appreciate it. I know we have a couple other to speak on this. But, you know, I do agree with what you're saying. Thank you. You're a lifetime Dania resident, been here for a long time, obviously. And as you can see, we're redoing all of our parks. I'm sure when it comes to PJ Millie, there might be, you know, a couple applicants in there for a name change. But I agree. I think that Dania should build up its youth sports programs more, especially that we're redoing all of our parks. And it would be great to have Little League baseball program here again. Charles Monaco. Are you here, Charles? Okay, Chuck's not here. There's Brian Haber. Okay, on to Clive Taylor. You still here? He left? Oh, man. Our Historical Society president of Hollywood? Okay, Clive's gone.
Too many presentations.
Laura Lombardo. I know you're here. All right, Joanna Granette, please come up first. Please state your name and address.
Good evening, Joanna Granette, to 450 Southeast 7th Street, number 251. The Historical Society was reinstated March 2022. I had a meeting with the city manager, Anna Garcia, May 2022, at which she let me know that the Historical Society will be able to use the Nyberg Swanson House and share it with the public arts. Per the City of Dania Beach fiscal year 21-22 adopted budget, $500,000 from the disaster recovery is reserved for the historic preservation of the Nyberg Swanson House and the Women's Club. Per the city's March 28-22 annual comprehensive financial report, the city was awarded and received $16 million from the American Rescue Plan. Of that, $1.5 million is allocated to the restoration of the Swanson House and the Women's Club. Looking back, it seems that the funds are allocated to the restoration of both the Swanson House and the Women's Club have been more than a year. In fact, we could confidently say a few years. So I'm wondering why we have to wait another year. Since then, the bare minimum has been done to make repairs, and we have been assured that these repairs on this historic building are good. I'm here to let you know that we have a board of 10 dedicated volunteers, and they are giving their time, working to get the Dania Beach Historical Society and Museum off the ground. We have a logo, and the logo has the Nyberg Swanson House. We attend events, and the residents, old and new, all ask us about and are enthusiastic about our membership, how they can help, and where we are. We have been given 12 filing cabinets from Hollywood Historical Society, and they're being held in someone's lounge in Dania Beach on the promise that it won't be long. The city's historical documents are being held in various places, several residents' homes, and even the city's old jail. Once we have a place, as promised, the Nyberg Swanson House, we can, one, start documenting the collections that we have so that our members can access the city's precious history. We can apply for grants, and we can have a place for residents and visitors to come and learn about our city. We can have fundraising events. We will have a place for our city. It will be the museum. We're teaming up with local organizations, the Hollywood Historical Society. Clive Taylor, he was here, but he had to leave. Sounds like someone would laugh then. Broward Trust for Historic Preservation. President Michaela is here, and board members. Dania Beach Improvement Committee, they donated us the startup fees. J.W. Arpin, Josh, who's a restoration expert, he's also here. He will be giving you a talk. And also the Lions Club. We now ask the city to team up with us and put the restoration of the Nyberg Swanson House top of your list. It's not only for us, but for the residents and visitors for the city's history. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gurnett, and thank you for all your work you do with the Historical Society and the Improvement Committee. As you see, Dinser gave his presentation on the Nyberg Swanson. Oh, you didn't hear any of it? Well, if he's still here, I'm sure you could speak with him. He's right there. He's the gentleman in the gray suit, standing up, slick back hair, and yeah, no, this is important for our city. What the feat that the city went through in 1994 to move the Nyberg Swanson House was amazing in itself, and we definitely don't want to neglect this house. It's a priority of mine as well, and you know, we're moving as fast as we can, but it's definitely on the minds of all of us, including the city manager. Yeah, so we plan on revitalizing that little area as a historical area, and there's like a little firefighter substation there that's just a useless building. We're planning on tearing that down and increasing more of the green space in that area as well. So there's some great plans in place, and we'll continue on with the citizen comments. We will go to, oh, you have a comment? Commissioner Davis, please.
No, very excited about the Nyberg Swanson House. The Historical Society has been very instrumental in moving our history to the forefront of this city, and as Broward's first city, very proud to have this Historical Society working so hard to do that, and I want to make sure that we are prioritizing that and moving that as quickly as possible to our priority list. I did speak with the manager a little bit, and I want to make sure that we are still having that plan to celebrate the opening of the Nyberg Swanson's house in 2024. But something that was also brought to my memory was that the $1.5 million that was supposed to be for the Nyberg Swanson, and in addition to the Women's Club. And so now that there's a discrepancy about there's only going to be grants for the Women's Club, and then we're putting the money into the Nyberg Swanson. So I just want to clear up that discrepancy, because I thought that the monies were for both historic buildings, and now it just seems that it's just for one, and we're looking for grants for the other. And I just think it's important to, I mean, I don't even, if we could just upgrade it a little bit, I don't know if it's the outside, the paint, whatever it is that we need to do, but I feel that both historical buildings need some serious attention as soon as possible, so.
If I may, through the mayor, and Joanna, I wanted to address you and all the residents that are here. So I wanted to remind everybody that there was no historical society. Remember, Commissioner, Vice Mayor Llewellyn and Commissioner James worked with us together with the former commission when we celebrated the 115th birthday, and it was at the beginning of 2020. And we decided that the monies that came from that event would go to form this historical society. And we kicked it off, and everybody was super excited. January of 2020, we all know what happened a month and a half later with COVID. So everything was kind of at a standstill, and our focus has been to kind of stop the bleeding. I wish we would have inherited a great park system. I wish we would have inherited, our restored buildings, but we didn't. So we've had to move forward. The COVID factor is a factor. We love to move things as quickly as possible. We have the 1.5 million plus a 500,000, but every budget is an opportunity to add more monies, as we have been doing. When we talk about grants, is because grants is a perpetual, ongoing process. When we were up in Tallahassee with Commissioner Davis and our mayor, we were lobbying for projects for the city, as we do for parks, as we do for drainage. In addition to that, we're going to continue to budget, but grants is a perpetual process that we're looking for new parks. for the Nybrook Swanson, for the Women's Club. Like the mayor says, we're going to demolish that old little building that's useless there, that's firefighters, because we're getting more money to do that. Big project, create the green space, but it's a priority for us, and we look forward to a ribbon cutting next year as we celebrate our 120th birthday in a brand new and beautiful restored Nybrook Swanson house. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
But still, I think the question is the money was supposed to be set aside for both buildings, and now we're not being told that any money is going towards a women's club. So I think we need clarification on that.
Well, we plan to put monies in this budget. We're working on the budget for
The
next year.
1.5, they're talking about the 1.5 million, that was set aside
The,
for both.
the 1.5 million, we're gonna need more than 1.5 million just for Nybrook Swanson. The 1.5 million will be for Nybrook Swanson. We're going to add monies in this
So-
fiscal year for the Women's Club as well.
So the clarification then is that the monies that were set aside, that were initially supposed to be for both buildings, are now only going to one?
That is correct.
And that is that also because of the economy and the changes in the cost of goods?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I need clarification on, because people need to understand that, because there's a lot of people that were expecting that money to go to both buildings.
Well, and we've learned, you know, learning is a perpetual thing that we do here. You know, we will begin to put an asterisk whenever what we've learned about this economy is we were all excited. We set $1.5 million aside for two buildings. A couple of years later, 1.5 million for two buildings doesn't get us
Anywhere.
completion. And we're not going to be putting Band-Aids. We're going to be putting great projects forward. So the 1.5 million is going to be for the Nybrook Swanson because it's not enough for both. But we will be putting monies in the budget also for the Women's Club.
And I know there has been some work that's being done on the Women's Club already.
That is
but
correct.
it's been minimal, just some
Well, no,
basic
no.
things.
What we've been doing on both is to fix the windows and doors to make sure that water is not coming in, so there's no further erosions of the building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next we have a public comment from Mr. Joshua Arpin. Sir, if you could please come up, state your name and address.
Mayor, Commission, I'm actually from Fort Lauderdale, 1044 Northeast 16th Ave, Fort Lauderdale. Joanna asked me to speak to you guys a little bit about the restoration at the Nybrook Swanson home. And I'm hearing a lot of things that I think I could probably help you guys with. You guys need to get a handle on what you're looking at for a budget to actually do the work. Okay, I'm a historic restoration contractor in Fort Lauderdale. Family's been in business since 1908, and I sit on the board for the Broward Trust for Historic Preservation as well. And I just wanted to offer my services to help you guys move this thing forward. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arpin. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, next we have Linda Wilson.
You need to go to the microphone.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Michaela Conker. I'm president of Broward Trust for Historic Preservation. We're a nonprofit, non-governmental agency. Our main focus is research, education, and the continuation of historically significant properties throughout Broward County. Joshua, as you just heard, is a board member with the trust. And I didn't plan on coming up and speaking tonight, but I do have one question. And I guess the question I'm going to pose to Mrs. Garcia. Do you have the records of the actual structure of the Nyberg house? Do you have drawings of what the original property looked like?
I can answer that. My Broward County does.
In the county, okay. So you have the ability to bring those plans to the table, because it's my understanding.
They said they had it.
Yeah? Okay. I was just interrupting because Dania had a big fire in 1984 and we lost a lot, like all
Fort
of our
Lauderdale did
records.
too, yeah.
Yeah, so, but if the county has them.
Yeah, they do have,
okay.
and Joanna, if it's my understanding, Joanna has been to the archives, the Broward County Archives, with Clive as well, doing some research. But I just want to premise that I think it's important that if the goal here is to preserve, restore, and maintain your historically significant structures and create this campus, that the focus be on the actual structure and what it looked like, because that's what the goal should be. What you do on the inside doesn't matter. I know you guys are on a CLG, so you don't have a lot of restrictions, but for the true aspect of what it is you want to create, that should be the goal. Joshua is your man in terms of how that can happen.
And if I may, through the mayor, we've worked, even I, go back 30 years on working with municipalities and cities and parks and restoration projects. And as our city engineer and our deputy director of public services mentioned, we're going to go through a request for proposals,
Sure.
which everyone can apply for that. That's going to be specific to historic preservation and
Great.
historic restoration.
Wonderful.
To be
So
clear,
you have the
we
trust
already
support.
have our architect. The architect has a background in
Historic preservation.
preservation. That's what he was hired on. Don't ask me the name because I don't remember. It's now that we're going to the bid for the actual construction.
Yeah, you have a really wonderful opportunity here for the city of Dania Beach, and I applaud it. Thank you so much. Do I need to fill out any paperwork?
No, you were already on there. Linda Wilson, right?
No, Michaela.
Oh,
And
Linda
yes, you
Wilson.
do. There's
Oh,
one
Linda
in the
Wilson.
back.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that is Linda Wilson. Okay, yeah, please fill it out. All right, Linda Wilson, come on up. Please state your name and address.
Linda Wilson, 1547 Adams Street, Hollywood, Florida. I was one of the initiators of the restoration of the Dania Beach Historical Society with one of the former commissioners. So I want you to know I have a vested interest in this, and I have been pressing for this Historical Society for several years. And we were very fortunate to restart it, and get some of the people who were on the original committee to be with us. And that was Carol and McCombs and the Kays, who are also part of the Frost family, and many other people. So we're very, very much interested in getting this project going. And it appears to me, I know you said you're putting out a request for a proposal for an architect?
We already did the architect. We're now going to construction.
Okay, it's for construction. And I hope that you are going to put it out for a person who has historic preservation construction experience. It's not the same as any other construction experience. If Clive were here, he would tell you all of these things too. We had the hotel on Hollywood Boulevard, which was the Great Southern, that was supposed to have been preserved. The first 40 feet of the facade was supposed to have been preserved, and oops, it fell down. Why did it fall down? Because the contractors who were doing the partial restoration and shoring up obviously didn't know what they were doing, and it completely collapsed. So it has been restored to its original facade, but it is not the original building. We don't want those type of things being promulgated in Dania. You have destroyed much of what you already have. You have quite a few remaining historic structures. And without somebody looking out for them, they're going to be gone too. And I saw that you were changing your rack to lower the permissible heights on buildings, but you already have approved those that far exceed that. So going forward, it's a great outreach, but you've already done in what should have been done a long time ago. And you can't just be looking for the monies to come in through taxes, through the developer who are going to give you money for these things. You have to look out for the residents who've been paying taxes here forever. I'm not a resident. I have been working in Dania Beach with the Friends of the Dania Beach Library, and now for the last 2 to 3 years with the Dania Beach Historical Society for over 10 years in complete. But I am a former and still a member of the Hollywood Historical Society, and want you to know that we are very much vested in what happens here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Next, I have Ted Kay, former Mayor Dania.
My name is Ted Kay, and I live at 355 Southwest 2nd Avenue here in Dania. And I think Ms. Granite said a few things that I was going to say, so I can cut mine a little shorter, which wasn't long to start with. But I just want to let you all know that the Historical Society has had I've seen an inside of this whole thing. They spent hundreds of hours, I mean, I'm serious, with meeting other people, other historical societies, researching up at the public libraries into the archive area. They've spent all kinds of time, meeting after meeting after meeting. Some of them have been at my house, and I can tell you they're doing a lot of work. And my main thing here for telling you this is that I want to be able to keep their interest. If things aren't progressing, people's interest wanes, and you start all over again, and you have employees here that are working for nothing that have you at heart. So I just want you to know that. So what I want to say also is that the Improvement Committee, which I'm proudly a member, have given the Historical Society $7,000 in which to start, which incorporation, which had to be redone a little bit. Computer, we need a computer. We need software, scanner, and cabinets. And cabinets have already been given to us by the Hollywood Association, Historical Association, because they got new ones, and we have them stored, matter of fact, in McComb's guest house living room. They sure like to get them out of there. So my first thing I want to mention to you is that we need space. Okay, right now, a lot of our archives we got from MAC and a whole bunch of other people are in the jail. So, and some of them are in our houses and so forth. So what we need to do is we need to put this all together and start working. It's going to take a long time to categorize, photograph, and all that kind of stuff, and document all these things that we have. We need a space. And I've already talked to the city manager about it, and that's what we really need to do to keep things going. And then it's going to take a while for the house to get done, but it's going to take us a while too. You should be really surprised of all the stuff we have. So and two of you up there have families that have been here for a long time, have very deep roots, right, Marco? Right, AJ? And I'm going to be gone for 6 months in North Carolina, and I'm hoping that you two guys can ramrod this thing through while I'm gone. So I really would appreciate it. Ball's in your court, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was just talking to the city attorney, and what you all are doing as volunteers is really incredible, because we come from a place that we have volunteered a lot of our time. We have an office where our former deputy city attorney was, and we're not planning on filling that position for a while. So if we get your support, Mayor and Commission, we have no problem with offering that office to be able to put those documents, get it away from your living room, and be able to find a place if that is acceptable.
File cabinets, whatever.
Yeah, file cabinets, whatever you need, desk, whatever.
Commissioner Salvino?
I know we're trying to do both the Women's Club and the house, and we have the 1.5. Why can't we start the house and just, get the budget comes up, then we start the Women's Club?
I'm going to have to defer to our city engineer and the project manager in regards to
The
process.
reason I say that is because I know that this has gone on and on and on for a long time, and like the prices have changed. I understand that same problem we just had a few minutes ago with the park, but the thing is that pardon me?
I said they're going to find the money for that.
I'm not done. Give me a second. I was interrupted. The other thing is that one of the things that Mr. Kay said also that's very, very important is that, when you have all these volunteers, it's like they were talking about the baseball programs. As people fade away, the programs deplete. And if we don't continue with getting something done, that historical society will deplete. And I can tell you the hard work I've seen them put in it in the couple terms I've been here, I haven't seen anybody work as hard as this on anything in any of our committees. So I really like to see what we can do to get the right person in there and get it going. I mean, we've been talking about it, but I think it's time to make the action.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Commissioner Salvino. What happened is that we got the design proposals, not only the Nyberg Swanson, also the Women's Club as well. So both of them is going to start with design and basically including new roofs, electrical, mechanical, and all that renovation, historic renovation. Once we complete it, we will have a complete price. What would cost us to do that renovation? At that time, we will see where we are. I think that might be a good idea to see where we are, because it's too early to say that $1.5 million is going to take us one house or two. And I think if we wait until the design is completed, in the meanwhile, we're looking for grant opportunities, and our consultant told me that there are some grant opportunities that we can apply both. So.
You turned it off.
Okay, thank you. I probably, all right, excuse me. I understand that, Denser. The thing is, though, going back on this, how long does it take to get all that stuff done? I mean, this has been, most plans can be done in 6 months, and this has been almost 2 years or longer.
We completely understand. Within the 6 months, we are going to have the whole design completed. And also that, Frank, let me know that we have another $500,000, I guess, from ARPA. Total, we have $2 million.
Well, just to be clear, we're maintaining and preserving this building, though, right? It's not
Both of them,
It's not in
correct.
disrepair or anything like that. It's in
Correct.
good shape. It's not active leaking.
Right, it's not actively
Okay.
leaking because we seal the windows. We don't want
Okay.
any more damages.
My point is,
I'm just saying it can withstand the next 6 months. I know these buildings have been there for
Yes.
And I'm
100
glad you
years,
put that
but
on the record, Mayor, because the work that we did, prior to the storm and even prior to hurricane season last year, prevented, any damage.
okay. Yeah, and we're entering hurricane season, so this is
Okay, I got it. The thing is, though, I don't understand why it's taken so long, why we couldn't have gotten one building going. I know you're saying they're both coming together, they're building it all together, but another 6 months it's going to take to get that over. So what have we done for the last 2 years? That's other than patching.
No, we completely understand. I think that we were discussing relocating those houses before, and there are a lot of different discussions that we had.
All right, well, we're stuck where we are, but we need to move forward. I would expect that if the Historical Society would like to have an upgrade at least each month at the first meeting of them each month, and tell them how far along we are. That way they can keep transparent, and we would be able to know what's going on.
Absolutely. And then what we do is we under-promise, over-deliver. Normally, I talk to consultant. I said the paper, it shows 6 months, but we would like to complete it within 4 months.
That'd be good. Okay, Denser, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
No, I was going to suggest regular updates so that we don't get lost in the process. So you got me there, Commissioner Salvino. So I don't need to keep going with it other than, Commissioner Llewellyn brought up the point, and I was there recently where there was a termite issue, so in the Women's Club. So I just want to make sure that we're really looking at these historical buildings and doing everything that we can as quickly as we can. But I was going to ask for updates, so I will leave it at that. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Davis. Commissioner James?
Yes, it's just to add, I was just telling Linda that there are other historical buildings that are around the city that you may not know of. One, I went and visited because I was looking at some flooding issues, but it was kind of behind the substation. So you have the substation and an empty parcel, and you have like what looks like a church now, but it used to be a chamber of commerce. So it's still there. It was damaged a lot by the flood, but if you can look at that and add it to your all's catalog. Thank you.
Ms. Lombardo, would you like to speak? Okay, please. I have one good one for you at the very end. Don't you worry. If she's still here, hopefully she's still here.
I guess this is more of a thank you for considering us
Okay,
than it
good.
is preaching to the choir. We did an amazing job with.
You have to state your
our-
name and address.
Oh, sorry. Laura Lombardo, 1401 Northwest 10th Street. You know, you've been very generous with giving us space at local events, and we were elated when we realized, you know, people actually did want to get involved with our programming, and most of the people who really wanted to get involved were the young ones. So as great as that tent was and how great the programming was there, we do need a home. And so I thank you very much, because at this point, we've done everything we can do. We've dissected our bylaws. We've laid a really solid foundation for a successful organization, and we can't do it from a tent. We need something real. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lombardo. Yeah, just to address the Historical Society, you know, Senator Pizzo was in here, and, you know, there was a bill that was going to be very damaging to the whole state of Florida. And thankfully it died, and you could see I wrote a letter to all of our representatives encouraging them to vote against that. So I suggest you guys do the same also. Please contact your representatives, and because this bill is going to come back for sure next year. And I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's if no historical building within half mile of the coastline meets flood standards, it could be demolished without any city ordinance. And, you know, it could obviously spread from there as well. And it's just a bill that caters to developers, and it's certainly not conducive to Broward's first city. So I just want to make you guys aware of that legislation. It's going to come up again. So we just have to stay proactive with that, make sure to try and not throw a fastball by us. Okay, for our last public comments, we have Christine Douglas. Please state your name and address, Ms. Douglas. There's a positive one. Don't even tell Anna. Thank you for staying, too, Ms. Douglas.
Christine Douglas, 4665 Southwest 38th Terrace. I'm on the west side of Dania Beach. So it's so nice to hear all the comments about the east side, but I'm just going to mention a couple things. Thank you very much, Mrs. Garcia, for your rapid response. We had a lot of flooding out in Davis Isles. I'm the president of the Homeowners Association out at Davis Isles. So I'm kind of speaking for my neighbors. They were very happy that when my husband called, that you all came out very quickly to help clean up our streets, because it was bad. And I know a lot of people suffered greatly from the floods, and we did too out west. Our canals were all connected. We had a meeting, and Denzer came out, and he was very gracious to come out and listen to all of us talking about the flood. So one of the things that we did mention to him, we asked if, being out west, if the drains on Griffin Road, if there was a schedule how they could be cleaned, because out west with all the development, we know that there's less land to absorb water. So if the drains were cleaned out on a more regular basis, and we mentioned it to him also, and the storm waters, and I don't even know if I'm mentioning it to the right people, but in our neighborhood, if the drains could be cleaned out, that could be on a schedule. And Griffin Road is really more like a Griffin Highway. So I know that there's a sign out there stating people's speed, and then they get a ticket in the mail, but can we get police out there? Because the neighbors are saying that it's like a highway, and there's just a lot of drag racing, and without the lights to get in and out of the neighborhood, it's very hard to get in some of the neighborhoods and out because of the speeding in between the lights. They're just not synced for 90 miles an hour. So I like to drive comfortably too, but I mean, safety is an issue. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, come on up. All right, Ms. McCombs, please state your name and address.
Janet McCombs, 41 Southwest Fifth Street. No one's mentioned as far as the Swanson
Please lower
Nyberg,
it so you see.
the Nyberg Swanson House. Once we get up and running, we want to invite people to come and give them their history. And as we age as a city, we're losing our aging people, and they're moving to go live with their relatives, so they're leaving Dania Beach. We want to try to get that going as quick as possible. It's really important. Kays have been here forever. My husband's born and raised here. He has history that even the Kays don't have. So we need to start getting that documented as we're losing our aging community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McCombs. Thank you to the entire Historical Society. Really appreciate you guys coming out, and your comments have definitely been heated. Okay, now we could go to public safety reports with Captain Danny Marks. Moving on. All right.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. In reference to the speeding, we can set our sensors out there. Let me finish. We'll have our motor unit. We've been taking care of another area, and now we can shift over there. You've also seen our regional motors that we call out. They come out at least once every month to conduct enforcement on our main thoroughfare. So we'll take a look at it. All right. I want to recognize our Deputy of the Month, Deputy Pack. He was a little more tan, but he went to midnight shift, so. Deputy Pack is just tremendous work ethic. He's been responsible not only this month, last month, and prior months. He's been getting so many drugs off our streets and firearms. In fact, last month he found a fully automatic one in a house that we got a search warrant on, and now he's working with ATF on pursuing federal charges on that suspect. I'd like to read an excerpt real quick of the memo for Deputy of the Month. This was a wonderful case as well, and as I said, it's just a snippet of what he's done for the city and the Sheriff's Office. Deputies responded to the CubeSmart storage facility located at 4080 Ravenswood Road in reference to what was reported as a burglary in progress, where the suspect was wearing gloves and a mask. Upon arrival, it was determined that there was not a burglary and the subject was gone. Deputy Pack made contact with the employee who was calling in the incident. After reviewing surveillance video, Deputy Pack observed a black Mercedes G-Wagon enter the compound, followed by a Lexus. Moments later, the only vehicle that was left was the Lexus. Approximately 10 minutes later, the same Lexus was now following a silver Mercedes G-Wagon into the compound, with only the Lexus leaving. After searching the compound, it was obvious that the two vehicles were being stored in one of the storage units. Deputy Pack reached out to some of our detectives to work alongside of him, and as a result, he was able to recover 2 stolen vehicles valued at $200,000 each, made 4 arrests associated with the thefts, and recovered 2 firearms on the suspects, and he also confiscated almost $9,000. That's just one of the many. I could go on reading all these cases, but I'd like to give him a round of applause and as our Deputy of the Month. Thanks, sir. And he's still got to stay back there and keep us safe for the rest of the meeting. We had I hate to say neat, but the ending was neat. I shared with the manager and Eric from Parks. We responded to 300 North Beach Road in reference to a pelican hanging off a tree after being caught by fishing line. Dania Beach lifeguards, Florida State Park Rangers, and FWC staff, or Florida Wildlife Center staff, responded to assist. One of our Dania Beach lifeguards, Kurt, I want to say it right, Schleicher, used a ladder and then climbed the tree, reaching up approximately 50 feet. He utilized the saw to cut the branch down, and the pelican was recovered. The Florida Wildlife Center took custody of the pelican and advised he would be placed in their ICU for further treatment. Dania Beach lifeguard Kurt Schleicher, his efforts went above and beyond, and he should be recognized and commended, which I'm sure we'll all I'll get to do, and save the Pelican. So it did have a good ending. Our homeless outreach, believe it or not, we've had a client who's been at large in Dania for 20 plus years. Finally agreed to reunification assistance. We contacted a sister in Utah who was eager to accept him. Our homeless outreach had a plane ticket purchased, and on Tuesday he was reunited. So another happy story. I would like to go over a couple dates real quick for events that we're having. May 20th, 2023, the Tiger Tail Aquatic Recreation Day. Our deputies partnered with Olson Middle School to spend the day with 25 students to participate in team building. It's going to be a day of team building activities, problem solving, and aquatic adventures. June 10th, we have a field day at Olson Middle School. Our deputies will have BSO assets on site to display, to meet, interact with the incoming 6th grade students for the new school year. June through August is the Summer Break Spot program. I know everybody's familiar with that. We've been doing it for a long time. So each week our deputies and detectives will visit the 4 summer campsites in our city to provide the campers with opportunity to get to know the deputies and our specialized units. All right, here's the one I'm not excited about talking about. It's our BSO versus Dania Beach annual kickball game. We got absolutely clobbered last year. I'll leave it at that, but maybe we can win it this year. That's July 22nd. There's a really nice trophy that the winner gets to brag about all year, and it wasn't us last year, that's for sure. July 28th, Lighthouse for Students is the name of the event. It's a community mentoring group and BSO Dania Beach fishing event. We're going to take approximately 20 youth on a fishing excursion from within the city. That's the Lighthouse Community Church. And it should be fun, as we've done in the past with similar events. Quick update on the deputies coming. On this Saturday, we'll have 2 new deputies and 2 more in May, and then 3 in June. So we'll be there. That completes my report.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Congratulations. Pleasure to have you. Now we have our Fire Chief, Sergio Pellicer. Come on up, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City staff, and our great citizens of Dania Beach. So I want to start off by, during this past storm, we made some phone calls after the storm to check on our vulnerable population, make sure everybody was okay. And we called every single person on that list. So with that being said, I would like to anybody that's in the audience or anybody that's listening, please, if you have a loved one that's either disabled or has health issues, please get them to register for the vulnerable population. What Vulnerable Population Registry does, it enables our firefighters, paramedics, and police to better respond following a hurricane or a major disaster. So let us know who the people out there is that we need to look out for right away, especially after a storm. If they live alone, if they're disabled, they have health issues, it allows us to do our job a little bit faster, a little bit better, and take care of the people that really need it right away. We also, speaking of disasters, we've completed our city emergency management plan, which basically that's it basically talks about what we do during a hurricane, what we do during major. I looked at it. Our firefighters looked at it. We've trained on it, and we submitted it to the city. It's got a few changes in it, but nothing major. So please, I urge anybody also that's listening to get ready for hurricane season. And lastly, last month, the month of April, we responded to 562 total calls for service. 72 were fire-related, and 490 were EMS-related. Now, the 72 fire-related, 2 were house fires. So, again, a lot of the, like some of the fires that I've seen lately are usually pot on the stove. So, if you're cooking, and you leave, or you have to leave, or you got to go outside, please make sure all your burners are off. Don't leave that pot on the stove. So that concludes my report, and do you have any questions?
Any questions? No. Thank you, Chief.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I do have one more thing.
Oh, please, please.
If Danny doesn't want to loosen kickball, he can get us to help
Get
him
the
out.
firefighters,
The
yeah.
firefighters will come over.
All right. I like it. Okay. Now we can move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that we wish to remove from the consent agenda?
To be clear, 7.3 has already been
Yes,
moved to.
7.3 is for the next meeting. Commissioner Davis? I'm sorry.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Consent agenda is passed unanimously.
Would you like me to read the resolution, Mayor?
Please.
A resolution of the City Commission authorizing the expenditure of funds for the preparation of a comprehensive plan update in accordance with the RFP 23-002, which project shall not exceed the budgeted amount of $150,000, authorizing appropriations, conflicts, and an effective date. This is a community development item.
Come on up, Eleanor.
I was hiding in the back. All right, so yes, this is a RFP, which we've selected the most qualified bidder, Chen Moore. We feel like they are the most qualified because they are working with the city on their stormwater master plan. They're very versed in the resiliency efforts that the city is putting forward, and the comp plan is in need of an amendment for resiliency and peril of flood. So that is our recommendation. If you have any questions.
Any questions? All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Davis. Go ahead. Second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor? Aye. All right. Item 8.1 is passed.
9.1?
Now, item 9.1 is passed, sorry.
No,
that was
No,
8.1.
8.1 is passed. Can we move on to public hearings? Item 9.1, please, City Attorney. Thank you.
An ordinance relating to updating certain provisions of Chapter 27 Water and Sewer, Article 5, Stormwater Regulations at Section 27-227, Stormwater Management Plan Requirements to provide a citywide interim design standard for all construction approved after the date of adoption of this ordinance, providing for codification, conflict severability, and an effective date. This is second reading, and it is a community development item.
Yes, thank you. Like she said, this is second reading. If you have any other questions, this is the interim design standards that we talked about at the last meeting, holding the development to that higher standard for stormwater management. If you have any questions?
Any questions? I have a motion. Well, this is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? No? Okay, can I entertain a motion? Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Move to approve 9.1.
Move to approve 9.1. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Item 9.1 is passed unanimously. Okay, on item 9.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 17 entitled Offenses Miscellaneous at Article 4 Noise, amending Section 17-81 Unreasonably Loud Noise Prohibited, amending noise prohibition hours, providing for codification, conflict severability, and an effective date. This is first reading community development.
Thank you. Eleanor Norina here, Community Development Director. So we are recommending at first reading to amend the code to prohibit noise between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. So we have a definition of unreasonably loud noise, but we don't prohibit it between a certain amount of time. This will help with enforcement, and this is similar to what other jurisdictions do. Davie and Deerfield and Hollywood also have time frames that they don't allow these noise regulations. This is also consistent with our construction noise between those hours, 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. If you have any questions, this is first reading.
Any questions? Commissioner Salvino?
Yes, sometimes, Eleanor, I know that on the construction sites, they sometimes ask for early start.
Yes.
Would that exclude them being able to do that?
They have to request that. Typically, it's for a limited amount of time to help usually early morning pours for concrete, some things like that. The request comes through me, the building department. I review it, the building official reviews it, and then it goes to the city manager for final approval. So they're
Okay.
on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, so on case-by-case basis,
Yeah.
you could.
And there
alter
is a
that.
fee for that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can I entertain a motion for item 9.2?
It was a public hearing.
Oh, this is a public hearing. Does anybody have anything to say for this item? Nope. I have a motion to approve item 9.2 from Vice Mayor Llewellyn.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Salvino. All in favor?
Aye.
You gotta go down the row, because she's not here.
Yeah, all right. Commissioner Davis is not here. Laura, can you please call roll?
Commissioner Davis is absent.
She's
Commissioner
absent.
James?
Yes.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Mayor, the motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, on item 9.3, please, Eve.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 2 entitled Administration at Article 5, reserved by amending the article to naming of city facilities, creating Section 2-101, name of city-owned facilities, providing for authority of the City Commission to name or rename city-owned facilities, providing for conflict severability and an effective date. This is second reading. It is sponsored by Commissioner James. Just as an update to everyone, at the first reading, the only change that was requested by this commission was to require a 4/5 vote to name a facility after a person or remove the name from the facility after a person. That's the only change that was made.
Any discussion on this item? This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? Any discussion from the commission? No?
I stand correct, there was one more edit. It's not a mile, it's down to 1,000 feet on the notice. There was
1,000
one
feet. Okay, okay. Okay. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to pass that.
Oh, no, sorry. Laura, can you please call roll on this? Did he pass it? Commissioner Salvino made a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner James. Okay, Laura, can you please call roll on this one?
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
Wait for Commissioner Davis, please. Okay.
Good thing I do my agenda review. Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
No.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Mayor, the motion carries.
Okay, Eve, for the last item, item 9.4.
An ordinance amending Chapter 6 entitled Beaches, Parks, Waterways, and Recreation to amend the title to Beaches, Parks, Waterways, Recreation, and Parking, amending Article 2, Beach Parking to Parking, and amending Section 6-32 entitled Method of Imposing Charges and 6-33 Schedule of Charges to amend parking permit fees applicable to the city garage parking area, amending Chapter 25 of the Code entitled Traffic at Article 3, Parking, Stopping, and Standing, Division 3, Parking Meters to reference parking meter, parking control technology, providing for severability, codification, and an effective date. This is second reading. It is a community development item.
Thank you. That was a mouthful, Eve. Eleanor Norina, Community Development Director. Like she said, this is second reading to allow the public to utilize the City Hall parking garage from the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. At the last meeting, I showed a presentation which had the new signage. I'm not sure if it's up yet, but it was ordered and purchased. So if it's not up, it will be up by the end of the week.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Any questions? No? Can I entertain a motion?
Approve 9.4.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item?
No.
No,
Make
please.
a motion.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn.
Make a motion to approve 9.4.
Commissioner Salvino. A second. Okay. Laura, please call roll. Second was Commissioner Salvino.
Well, it was me, but it's
Oh,
okay. You take it.
please call roll.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Wait.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Mayor, the motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, we already discussed item 10.1. On to commission comments. Let's start with our Commissioner Joyce Davis.
L.
Joyce L. Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm a little tired this evening. I'm sure we all are. The mayor and I had a wonderful opportunity to go to Pompano Beach to visit the Rick Case community, habitat community, and elected officials from all over Broward County, including some of our state reps. Chip Lamarca, our commissioner, Beam Fur, where we painted some of the habitat houses. What is very interesting about that is that the very first Habitat for Humanity in Broward was done in Dania Beach. They are celebrating their 40th anniversary as we are going to celebrate our 120th anniversary. And I think this is something that we need to have further discussion to see how we can work together to celebrate the history of both Dania Beach working with Habitat for Humanity as well as the organization itself. So that was wonderful. We did have also, I'm just going to go off the top, my head, Fleet Week was absolutely amazing. We had a wonderful time at the American Legion with so many sailors coming into our city. The Legion just did a great job of hosting all the sailors. It was a wonderful celebration of our armed forces and especially the Navy. In addition, the Mayor's Gala was absolutely wonderful, and we were able to bring our commanders to the Hard Rock and celebrate 10 years of Mission United with United Way of Broward County. I think this is a event that we should look to have and sponsor every year or go to every year in celebration of all the partnerships and the wonderful things that United Way has done with the city of Dania Beach. I'm sure there's more, but at this time I want to also remember Lighthouse for Students. They just received, I would like to congratulate them on receiving a nomination from Broward County for their excellence. Congratulations for their Community Involvement Awards. They were recognized by Broward County Public Schools. In the past, I have supported them with my personal contingency funds. I know Mayor James in the past has supported them as well. I would like to get consensus to approve them for $2,500 from my funds and to see if anybody else would like to also support this organization. Thank you.
Commissioner James.
Maxine, I tried to text you, but you're such a good note taker. You don't have your phone. Do you know how much money I have in my contingency? By chance? No? Okay. Okay, well, I would like to support with $2,500 as well if I have the funds. Oh, I have funds? I'm swimming in money?
Lighthouse for Students.
I'm not swimming in money?
You got a lot.
Oh, okay, well. Okay, well, give them $2,500 from me as well, please.
Thank you.
I'd like to give 1,000.
Lighthouse for Students.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn.
I'll give 1,000.
I'll go 1,000 too.
Okay.
I like
Look
to
at
give
that. $8,000.
I'd like to give 1,000 for that program.
$9,000.
I hear 10. What
Can
about
we
10?
make it an even 10?
All right. Eve, do you don't have a
I don't have a
contingency fund?
budget.
Eve's going to sell her office. She's already renting out the one.
Okay,
I
great.
can take it out of the budget, I just don't have I don't have an eyeline on it.
That's wonderful, Commissioner Davis. Anything else? You done?
That's it.
All
Thank
right.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner James.
Yes, just a few of the events that I've also was able to go in for Fleet Week and actually go on the ship of the USS New York, which is made of 7 tons of steel from the 9/11 wreckage. It was a beautiful event with a lot of other local leaders from the county, the state, federal agencies, and I also did a submarine tour that you couldn't take photographs, so I was able to submit those. I do think that I know that Commissioner Davis spoke about the United Way Gala, and I do think that we need to continue to support them. But Fleet Week it was phenomenal, and I think that we need to look into how we can network and be more engaged in Fleet Week with so many different opportunities in industries, with our marine industries as well. The United Way Gala, it was a very nice event. And I was also invited with the Vice Mayor of Tamarack to give international dance hall reggae artists the key to the region on Saturday in the city of Tamarack. Her name is Spice. She has dance hall. If you know what dance hall is, that's the type of music she has. But she's done a lot of great things in the community, and so I was proud to be a part of that. And that's it for me. A happy Mother's Day to everyone. This upcoming Sunday, I hope you all do something very special for yourselves or for whoever is that special person in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner James. Commissioner Salvino?
Thank you, Mayor. I just did a couple things with y'all. I went to the topping off part of the Elevate, and the Mayor's Gala was really nice. First time I wore a tie in about a year, and kind of forced into it.
I told him,
But-
wear a tie.
Huh? Yeah.
They tell you, wear a
Yeah,
tie.
wear a tie. I had a birthday. I guess you guys know that. I was expecting a cake up here tonight, and you guys are saying happy birthday to me, but I can see how I rate. That's out of here. I was just too late. Yeah, that's all right. Anyhow, that's all I have to say. I'll pass it back to the Vice Mayor.
71? Happy 71st.
70.
70. 70.
70 now.
Happy 70th
70,
birthday,
baby.
Commissioner.
Still going strong.
All right. Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Went to a lot of the same things, did a lot of the same stuff. The one thing I'm not gonna go into all the details because it's late and there's no need. The only thing I will say is I did spend quite a bit of time over at Post 304 during like the night that they had the Fleet Week. All the sailors came over, and it was pretty much the entire crew of the USS New York that showed up. And they were a lot of fun. They were having a really great time. And we also had, of course, our local veterans as well that were there, and they enjoyed themselves. And it was just nice to see. They actually closed the place that night. So I got a text from somebody that they were wanting to know if our place was still open. And I'm like, no. So anyway, but they had a really good time, and it was good to see them get that break because especially, well, I know some of the people on the submarine also were out and about, and the submarine is a whole different thing. I don't know how anybody can do that for that amount of time, be underwater and be away from the sun for that amount of time. But anyway, kudos to all of them, and thank them all for their service, and happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I can't speak for everyone who listens to this meeting, but I can say that I really do enjoy hearing and seeing what you guys do throughout the community. You guys definitely all over the place, very involved, and it's not even with our city, it's with our county, it's with other cities. It's showing that Dania Beach is involved in the community overall. And it's just wonderful to hear what you guys do. And, I've attended a couple of those meetings, those events as well, like the Mayor's Gala. Fleet Week was wonderful. I'll just say one thing that I did that I have to mention. Remember the young man that I had in here, PJ Pinella, who was the Coast Guard active duty? So he was underway. That's what they say in the Coast Guard. He was underway, and he went to the Caribbean. And underway means you're on the boat. You're on your tour. It's like a 90-day tour. It's like 60, 90 days. So he's underway in South America, in the Caribbean. They did a lot of migrant work, and he was coming back the week after Fleet Week to dock in the Port Everglades. So he sent me an email saying that he was coming into dock. I was able to reach out to the port, spoke to one of the pilots, and they brought me out there to board the boat and bring the boat in to the Port Everglades. And Mr. Pinella was there to greet me. He's Petty Officer Second Class Pinella was there to greet me, brought me in. The captain brought me up on the bridge, and there's probably 40 active duty service members on the bridge, you know, it was a military operation. They were bringing in the ship, and it was quite amazing. What an experience. Obviously wouldn't be afforded to me if I didn't have this position or the relationship that we have with the Port Everglades. So I just want to thank the Port Everglades and thank the Coast Guard as well for their their hospitality, to say. And yeah, you know, it's not like military ships just come in here on Fleet Week. They're here all the time. And the pilots that we have in the port are critical to what they bring in. They bring everything from cargo ships to tankers to cruise ships to the military ships. So it was a real pleasure. And yeah, I'm done with that. It was very active, and I appreciate your guys' activity. I know we're going to have a very active summer as well with the community, and I just look forward to a strong summer, and happy Mother's Day. Okay, we can move on to appointments. For the Charter Review Board, we need one overall alternate member. I have someone to suggest, if that is okay. I suggest Jay Dick. He's a man that's lived in Dania Beach for over 20 years. He owns a house on Southeast 6th Street. He's involved, very involved in the community. He's an alternate. We need one. I did some searching, found one, and we need to get this Charter Review Board underway. So with your guys' approval, we can have a completed Charter Review Board. Approval? Gracias. Okay. Do we need to make a motion for that?
Consensus?
I have consensus, yes. Okay. Wonderful. All right, and now we have Broward League of Cities 2023, 2024 director appointments. Laura?
Yeah, I mean, Commissioner, I know it's a Broward League of Cities 2023, 2024 director appointment, so you need to make an appointment for one director, one alternate, and a second alternate. I don't know if you want to speak amongst yourself and who you wish to nominate for each seat.
Commissioner Joyce L. Davis. She goes to every place, and she has time to do all that stuff, so I think she would probably be our best choice because she has that ability to go these places, if it's okay with the board.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right. Commissioner Davis is our director.
There you go.
Okay, Commissioner Davis, who do you appoint now? Director Davis?
Well, I mean, I was just going. That's what I was going to say, who else wants to do it. And I was going to offer to be happy to continue to do it because it is important that we show up. And I do show up. We only had 2 absences, and they were both excused because I was at a conference. So it's good that we show up. I will continue to show up if there's anybody else who does have some free time in case, I'm at a conference or something, but I usually do go to all of them as much as I can, but we do need to have a alternate and a second alternate for the swearing in on June 17th. So anybody else want?
I nominate Vice Mayor Llewellyn for first alternate.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. And for second alternate, I could be second alternate. All right. I nominate myself for second alternate. Okay, thank you. Perfect. All right, administrative reports.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, residents of the great city of Dania Beach, and our city team that's here with us. We're very, very excited to announce that the week of May 1st, we concluded the interviews for Communications and Marketing Director. I want to thank Linda and Eric and Candido and those that were involved in the selection committee. We hit it out of the ballpark with another acquisition. This individual we will be introducing to you at our first meeting in June. Nanette spent 20 years as the Director of Communications and Marketing for the great city of Miami Beach. She's very, very, very familiar with the city of Dania Beach as she worked with our former CRA Director, Raquel Williams, and led the efforts in the public relations for the Dania Beach branding, the See It, Live It, Love It. Very, very familiar with our city already. Right off the bat, she spoke about, how we can activate and promote our city in the Brightline corridor, working with the businesses, using those walls as canvases as the train goes through our city, so we can have more of a presence. We are very, very excited about Dania After Dark and bringing that back. Already we're securing some bands, working with our Parks Director, Eric and Cassie, and bringing that, you know, that flavor and that life back to our city. Extremely excited about working on our 120th. Our 115th was a lot of fun, and now we're going to take it up a notch and really work on a fantastic series of events. Not just one event, but a series of events that will culminate in our big birthday bash here in November of 2024. One of the things that I was researching was how we can have more than one logo, that we could, you know, sunset one, bring up another, and as we begin to focus on our 120th and Broward's first, we're very excited about that. And, you know, just even researching the Miami Heat, for example, has several logos that they use, home and away, uniform, so it's very exciting in regards to what we could do. We're going to start working to be able to present you with some ideas that you guys can take a look at, or any ideas that you may have for us. It's going to be a committee that's going to be planning 120th, just like we did with our state-of-the-art, the mayor's State of the City address that we did last year for the very first time. We're super excited to do that. We also work very closely with all the departments and our HR director and the entire team to put out the city's first ever community newsletter, actually employee newsletter, which is very exciting. It talks about all the promotions, all the projects that we're doing with our team. And it pleases me also to let you know that this September, we're going to be putting out the first ever community newsletter that's going to go out to all our residents, all our businesses, to, you know, let them know all the projects that we're working on, all the projects that we have completed, already informed them about the budget process, the mayor's State of the City address. And, you know, I think that we could do a better job and let everybody know all the projects that we're working on and everything that we're doing in our city. We're looking forward to a really exciting ribbon cutting. We just finished Malaluca Park, as Director Brown communicated. Mildred Jones Park, we just completed it. Folks, if you haven't been to Malaluca Park, you know, let's take a look at it so you could see what a great before and after. Mildred Jones, a great before and after. I'll never forget, a year and a half ago, Eric and I were standing there and that dock was totally rotted and we had to close it off. I mean, you know, we've had to deal with a lot of challenges because things were not getting done in the past. So we've been catching up and moving the city forward. And also Tootie Adler Park. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen, you know, we're going to be celebrating with our entire community the ribbon cutting there at Tootie Adler. Another project that we were able to get $200,000 in Tallahassee plus our match. And it's day and night, folks. A great, great park, and you're all going to be very, very proud of. So we're going to be working with Maxine in your very busy schedules to do this ribbon cutting and invite our community. The week of May 1st, the Army Corps of Engineers, they concluded the renourishment project at the beach. Another project, and thank you, Dinser, and for the public services team that was working out there with them. But it's going to look fantastic as we add more art. I know that we just approved an art project there. We have another beach cleanup that we're going to be organizing, and a back-to-school backpack again. And I know, Commissioner Davis, you forgot to mention it, but maybe you... But we're super excited about the back-to-school and the backpack event that we're going to be working with our Parks Director. Yes, sir. All clear backpacks. Yeah.
We ordered today, the backpacks are all clear. All of the scraps are different colors, but we've already ordered them. Anthony ordered some today. He only ordered 200, so I thought.
Microphone.
I heard that you wanted to order some with something on it.
No, they're just different colors.
Yeah, we ordered them. We ordered them today.
Yeah.
So that means that you can order like maybe 100 if you want to order 100 with something fancy.
I have a vendor because I also ordered 1,000 for my back to school thing, and my vendor price is probably around $6 each. So okay. So if you paying $20 for one book bag, I don't know. There's other vendors that are a little lower.
Well, if we're done talking about the book pack, let me but we're very excited about you. Very, very excited. I had a conference with the county administrator, Monica Sapero, and Eve is working very closely with Candido, and we're going to be bringing FEMA here to City Hall to work with our residents with all their needs. We just finished working on being able to put that agreement together. Today, Eve and I had a great meeting with the Housing Authority, and you know, in regards to how we can work better together to ensure the safety and raising the bar on each other in regards to what we can do in that area of our community. We have hurricane season just around the corner, and we're prepared. And you know, happy birthday, Marcos Alvino. I reached out to you. We have another birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Commissioner James. Oh, we have a meeting that day.
There we go. We'll bring a cake.
Marcos is going to get jealous. But anyway, happy Mother's Day to everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Manager. City Attorney, any report?
I'll keep
Oh,
it
wait,
short.
wait.
Oh
my God. I forgot the most important part of the report. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I got a call from Ron Book's office. We have 2 projects in the mix for $1 million, and they're both fully funded. But we'll wait until the mayor signs the budget for it to be.
governor?
I know the governor. I'm sorry, the mayor would have signed on if off. It's a Southwest 52nd Street Stormwater Project at $500,000, and the Fire Rescue Command Center and Training Facility at Station 1. So that's $1 million. It's in the budget, and I'll let you know as soon as we get the official word that the governor has signed. But thank you again for all your efforts in Tallahassee to make that happen for our community. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
2 things. I sent an email out earlier. I've been working very closely with Code Compliance and Eleanor on all of the code cases. As you know, when I came on board, it used to be outside counsel that helped out with the city on all of the code cases. It came inside when I came to the city. And over the past 2 years, I've collected on the city's behalf over $357,000 in towards general revenue from those cases. The other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is, because I know that this has been coming up, 606 West Dania Beach Boulevard, there is already a $55,000 lien on the property. The lien was recorded a couple of months ago, so you have to wait 90 days before you can foreclose. 90 days will be the end of June, so I'm preparing the complaint to start the foreclosure action on that troublesome property. The owner of the property is deceased, so we would probably have to do it by publication because there is no state. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Eve, and thank you for the work you do. Thank you for keeping record of it as well, and attaining that money for the city. Okay, City Clerk, give us the reminders.
Okay, so next up we have our CRA board meeting at May 23rd. I have yet to confirm if we're going to move it to 6 p.m., but if we do, we will let you know in advance. And then we have our City Commission meeting May 23rd at 7 p.m., and that's it.
No, not yet. No. I was thinking about that. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming out. Thank you for staying, especially you, young man. Meeting adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Go Heat. Thanks for staying.
Go Heat.
Let's go Heat.